Oh, good morning, my Tusa King family. Hope everybody's well on this Sunday. My countdown is 5 now for the move. Move on Friday. Thursday will be kind of a put the thing like the dishes and the shampoos and stuff that I need to use now. I'll have that away. My car will be packed except for my golden silver, which I will pack on the morning of. I don't want to leave that in my car. So we saw probably the worst draft I've ever seen. I'm wondering how analytics is fucking this thing up. I mean, it's just so many linemen being drafted, and they don't really add value unless you get a Reuben Bay or a Bailey, something like that. Most of them are nothing. You already have a team of players, right? You already have, 43, 45 man rosters. So you've got linemen on the team already. You draft a guy out of Clemson. You think he's going to make the team? He's certainly not going to start. So there's a lot of wasted draft picks here. Then I saw some running backs on like Penn State, Allen, and a few others that should have been drafted in the second, third rounds are going in the seventh round. And then I look at some quarterbacks. So you didn't draft Tagovailoa, but you drafted a guy from North Dakota State. Yeah, those quarterbacks have been doing great. Yeah, Trey Lance, Carson Wentz, they all suck. The problem I have, like in the 70s, you could draft like Joe Green out of North Texas State or something like that. And that was then. And now you have so many in Division One. There's 132 teams now that it's extremely difficult to find somebody in a Division Two school that is better than anybody in Division One because there's so many teams now. So I don't know. I saw some teams. Somebody took a guy from Southwest Louisiana, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Because if he was any good, the way it is now with this NIL money and you're paying the players, if there's anybody good out there, he'd have went to Illinois or Notre Dame or Michigan or whatever. They would have found him and they would have signed him. And that's where I'm kind of going, North Dakota State, if the guy was any good, he'd have been at Missouri or, Penn State or somewhere. So let's take a look at the draft. Then we get into, I had a great day in basketball. I went 3-1, and in baseball, again, that 16, the total of 16 on Arizona, I don't get it. 5 units, we bet it under, and it was 6-4. So it was a 10. And then today I noticed same thing, 15.5. We're going to go 5 units under. I don't understand what's going on there. This is baseball. Maybe that's AI and analytics. That's what we're going to get from that crap. Streaks, the Yankees kept going. And they hit the Atlanta, Philly finally broke their losing streak, and the Cubs finally broke their winning streak. So, okay, we lose one, bet with them. But then the only team with the streak now is really the Yankees. And Minnesota's on a small like a 3-game losing streak. We're going to wait on that. Basketball, we nailed it. Orlando beats the Pistons. Oklahoma wins by 12. We're laying 9. The Knicks easily win. And the only game we lost that was surprising was Denver at Minnesota, where Minnesota blew them out. So today will be tough. We'll have to look at, because there's games off of a loss, and then who needs the game. And the who needs the game is always very important. Teams, that's why the Knicks didn't want to go down 3-1. And Denver is now down 3-1 to Minnesota. We'll bet Denver big in the next game. Oklahoma's trying to sweep Orlando. They're now up 2-1 against the Pistons, and I don't see the Pistons winning that series. We talk about it a lot in football. You must know how to win, right? And they don't have a clue how to win. They just have never been there. They're a terrible team. Then they get lucky, all these injuries, and they get better. But they're not. They're maybe a decent team, but they're not ready to play playoff basketball, which is a whole different animal. Wait, Anthony Edwards will miss multiple weeks with knee injury report. Huh. So that's Minnesota. Anthony, I know you've been on here before, so good luck to you. I hope it's not too serious. All right, the NFL draft. There was very few winners. There was very few good players. It's possibly the worst draft I've ever seen in my life. Let's start with position. So let's look at it. Let's go to quarterback first. Probably the worst quarterback class I've ever seen, and the best quarterback wasn't drafted. Somebody explain that. He's 5'10". Oh, well, what was Drew Brees, Warren Moon? Were they? Does it really matter? Instead of chocolate, I'm eating cinnamon graham crackers. All right, so it's 4th and 2, go for it. But if you miss, you lose the game. They don't tell you that part. Tagovailoa's too small. Based on what? Well, there hasn't been a small quarterback who's been successful in the league. Yeah, there has. Warren Moon. What was Drew Brees? 6'5"? Like, does it matter? Joe Montana was small. Warren Moon. Doug Flutie. It's a bunch of bullshit. There's not a lot of small quarterbacks to start with. This is the part of the analysis they're not telling you. Well, there's not been a lot of 5'10" quarterbacks successful. How many have there been? How many 5'10" quarterbacks who beat Alabama have not been successful in the NFL? None. They're not looking at his play on the field. All these Tennessee players got drafted. He beat them, I told you yesterday, 45-24. Puts up 45 points on Tennessee at Tennessee, but he can't play. He beats Alabama, but he can't play. He just barely lost to Texas by himself. They lose by 3. He can't play. Are you guys on drugs or what? See, here's my assumption. This is the problem using analytics and not looking at with your eyes and analyzing. Analytics says, oh, no, you got to be 6'4". Yeah, okay, these guys are out of their minds. This is why, would you rather have Tagovailoa or Trey Lance? Tagovailoa, Jared Goff. Tagovailoa or Lamar. I mean, it's a joke. He's so much better than those guys, and yet he's too small. He's 5'10". Yeah, he was pulling upsets at New Mexico State, and then he goes to Vanderbilt and plays very well against an Alabama team, a Tennessee team, so I'm missing the point where his height is a problem because it's not. And it's the same guys on Alabama. A lot of those guys get drafted and they're in the NFL who he beat, and Tennessee that he beat. So I don't buy this crap. But yeah, why do the GMs, are they this stupid to not draft them? And then the guys, let's take a look at who they drafted. Just a second. I want to take my picture. God, my camera gets fingerprints on it. All right. So let's take a look and let's see if we can find any quarterback better than Daggio. So Mendoza goes first to Indiana. He's not a number one pick. He's probably not a first round pick. But in this draft, when there is no quarterbacks, he's the best quarterback of a very shitty quarterback list. It's like the US dollar is the best dollar, and it sucks. Right? Compared to the other dollars, they all suck. So Mendoza, I'm not sitting there thinking Oakland's going to make the playoffs with him. Although I did like Oakland's draft. They got a lot of defense. Ty Simpson goes to the Rams. Tagovailoa is 10 times better than Ty Simpson. Absolutely. What is LA? What can they possibly be thinking taking Ty Simpson with the 13th pick instead of a defensive stud, which they could have used? This is the stupidest pick I've ever seen in my life. Is Ty Simpson any good? If you're not drafting Tagovailoa, you're not drafting Ty Simpson. Let's not forget, Tagovailoa did this in the SEC. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee. Let's not forget who he played. It wasn't like he's playing MAC. Ty Simpson did nothing. They had a lot of losses. He's not very good. I don't get it. He only played a year. This was a terrible pick. This guy will do nothing. I don't get the pick. Carson Beck, Miami. Okay, decent pick. Not a second round pick. He went to Georgia, so we give him credit for that, more so than Miami. He did okay in the playoffs. He showed balls better than Darnold. And so, yeah, I don't mind the pick. I don't like it in the second round. Is he going to be your starter? Well, I think he's probably just as good as Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was good at Iowa State. Shouldn't have been the last pick. Here, I don't mind him being drafted. I thought it was early for him, but I think he's okay. We'll see if he's a Brock Purdy. Again, he looked good in he beat Ohio State, so let's give him credit for that. And he went to Georgia first. Round 3, Pittsburgh, Drew Aller. Who's the idiot picking this guy? You got Will Howard from Ohio State. He's 10 times better than Drew Aller. Drew Allard is terrible. Oh, but he's 6'5". Oh, excuse me. Yes, that makes all the difference. He's 6'5". Daggio is 5'10". Oh, how did I miss that? Meanwhile, he sucks. Never won a big game, and they lost 7 games in a row or 6 games in a row with him. He gets hurt, and they bring in the backup, and the backup's 5 times better than this guy. Terrible pick by Pittsburgh. What are they doing? All their needs. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will be back. You got Will Howard. What are you going to do with Drew Aller? To think he's good again. Well, he's 6'5". He's 235. That doesn't make you a quarterback. That means you're tall. I don't know, but he's not a good quarterback. What are you? Oh, he can run a little bit. Oh, well, of course. That's the most important thing for a quarterback, not throwing the ball. Sorry, Mahomes, Burrow. Yeah, Stafford. Yeah, you really need to run. Oh, my God. Terrible draft here. Still, I'll take Tagovailoa over this guy all day, all night. Oh, he's 6'5" against 5'10". It doesn't matter. That's not what makes the quarterback. That's a stupid analogy. The quarterback has to be tall. Oh, and then we get to the JETSs. Cade Klubnik from Clemson. Oh, my God. Where are you doing with this idiot? This guy's terrible. What makes you think he's any good? Oh, he's 6'2". I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, he's 6'2". Had a good year 2 years ago. Last year he sucked. A perfect pick for the Jets. He's right there with Flowers and Pickett and all these other idiots they drafted. Terrible pick. He's not good. On the Jets, he'll really suck, but I'm sorry. He's a very weak quarterback. All right. Philadelphia, round 5. Cole Payton, North Dakota State. Oh, that's it. Oh, wait, but he's 6'3". So, yeah, we can have him because he has to see over the lineman. Well, Daggio did that in college. He obviously had the same lineman they got in the pros as far as weight and height, and he didn't have a problem throwing the ball. Well, he needs to kind of scramble around. Oh, so C.J. Stroud and Caleb, they scramble around. Well, he's not a good pocket passer. Who cares? I mean, these things they bring up that are against them are so fucking stupid. Cole Payton will never. He's going to play for the. Now he might be better than Hurts. That's not hard to do. But why do they keep going to these quarterbacks from North Dakota State like they're none of them have ever been good? So I don't really get it. And again, they're Division II. It's the stupidest thing. Oh wait, then we go to round 6 and Cleveland drafts Taylon Green from Arkansas. He's not very good. Another. Oh wait, but he's 6'6", so he must be good because he's 6'6". It's the stupidest analysis I've ever seen. Is how tall the guy is. This guy's not very good. He might be better than Prime Jr. He's certainly not better than Dillon Gabriel, and he didn't do much at Arkansas. I don't know. In the big games, didn't show up. Oh wait, round 7, pick 7. Washington takes Ethan Kalkomanis, the quarterback from Rutgers, over Tagovailoa, 6'3", 212. First question is, why are they drafting a quarterback? You got Jalen Daniels, guy from Rutgers. Yeah, whoever's in charge. See, these GMs have their heads so far up their ass, they don't know talent. So they're looking at analytics to pick instead of watching the games going, this guy stinks. This guy was on Minnesota 2 years ago, and he sucked, and he wasn't that good at Rutgers. So I don't know. New England, okay, Burren Morton makes sense out of Texas Tech. Why is he the 7th round, 18th pick? I liked him at Texas Tech. I thought he was okay. Yeah, he struggled against Oregon. I don't know. He did beat Utah and BYU a couple times. So I don't mind that. I don't mind this pick, but what are these other teams doing? Why didn't you take this guy over the guy from North Dakota State? I mean, what the fuck? Oh, wait, and he is 6'2", so he can obviously be a good quarterback because he's 6'2". He's okay. Little bit of turnovers, but okay. Didn't show up in the big games. Well, he showed up against Utah and BYU, and he won the conference championship. So give him credit for that. So I thought this is a steal for New England. He's probably better than Drake May. We'll see. Hopefully they'll have a competition. Hey, Johnsy, the last pick round 7, pick 33, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU goes to Kansas City. I don't get this one. He's terrible. I mean, Brian Kelly runs a good offensive scheme. So for him to not really be that good at LSU with the receivers they always have, this guy's nothing. But he is 6'1". Oh, of course, that's why. If you believe all the numbers, because they listed Daggio at 6 feet, and then they're saying, well, he's only 5'10". Like that mattered. So again, Nussmeier, KC grabs him. I think he was a big nothing. I thought he was going to be better than he was, but last year he sucked. I think he got replaced. Didn't do anything. So, yeah, again, another weak quarterback. The worst quarterback class I've ever seen. And then the one who's the best, you didn't draft. Okay. Pavia didn't get drafted due to size and attitude. Well, that's what I'm arguing. The size is not a factor, and I don't know what his attitude is. He's a winner. I don't care what his attitude is. What was his attitude? He said he was better than these guys. Well, he is. There isn't a quarterback I just listed who's better than Tagovailoa. He won at New Mexico State, and he won at Vanderbilt. Who wins at Vanderbilt? Who wins at New Mexico State? So I don't know what his attitude is. He's a winner. I would have drafted him. Certainly ahead of Ty Simpson and Nussmeier and Calcamaris. You're drafting Calcamaris, really. You're drafting Taylon Green ahead of him. Cole Payton from North Dakota State. None of these guys will do anything in the NFL. Not even your buddy Mendoza. He'll be nothing. Again, at Cal, he had 16 touchdowns, 6 picks. They did nothing. The only reason they did anything at Indiana is they had a good system. They had good running backs and good receivers. And that's why they did something. So at California, with not a lot of help and not a good coach, he didn't show up. All right, those are your quarterbacks. Absolutely zeros. Nobody good. And what a waste of the Rams' first-round pick. It's funny, the Rams had better picks later than they did in the first round. All right, let's look at running backs. First one, Jeremiah Love, big mistake. Fletcher's much better, the guy out of Miami. When they played Miami, 10 rushes, 30 yards. That's what you're going to get out of them. Again, you know, you're not playing Army, you're not playing Navy, you're not playing the Marines. You know, Stanford. Who did Notre Dame play? They played Miami, and he did nothing. And they played Texas A&M. He might have had a little bit more. And that was it. That was their schedule. A bunch of nobodies. And that's it. So terrible pick here, especially you wasting your number 3 pick. It's a good idea to draft your skill players in the first round, not your offensive linemen. But just stupid pick. You still need a running back, Arizona. All right, Seattle. I can't figure this one out. I know they let, for some reason, they let whatchamacallit go. Kenneth Walker. Now he's on KC. They're going to win the Super Bowl. So you've now got Price, who is Love's backup. You didn't even take a starter. You took the guy's backup. So is he any good? Probably not. Fortunately, you got the other guy from Michigan. I can't think of his name right now, but he got hurt late in the year with the knee, so we'll see if he comes back strong. But Price, this is how weak the running is. You got to take the backup to Love as your number 1 pick. So they did identify the need, but this isn't the right guy. Now I would have taken this guy, Kalen Black, San Francisco now, out of Indiana, and I watched a lot of Indiana tape the last few days. Very good running back. Gets you 4 or 5 yards. He can go big. Good pick by the Niners. Even though they have McCafferty, they'll find a way to get them both in there. So very good pick there. Jonah Coleman from Denver, out of Washington, running back. No, pretty decent for Denver. Not spectacular, but he's solid, I think. Oakland now takes Mike Washington, running back from Arkansas. Who the fuck's this guy? I don't know. I looked at the stats. I don't think I saw a whole lot there, but okay, fine. Oh, but he's 6'2". Oh, silly me. I didn't know you had to be 6'5" to play in the NFL. It's like Muggsy Bogues playing in the NBA. He's 5'9", and he's dunking. Oh, we can't draft him. He's too small. I mean, height is not an issue in sports. Okay, it's heart. It's not the size of the dog. It's the bite of the dog or whatever they say. It's not the size of it's not the bark of the dog. It's the size of the dog or the bark of the dog. It's how passionate he is. And Daggio certainly fits that. I'm not aware of an attitude because he thinks he's better than the other players is not an attitude. I don't want him on that. You got murderers and rapists in the NFL. You're worried about a guy with an attitude? Can he play better than all the quarterbacks I listed? All right. Mike Washington, running back. Okay, for Oakland. You got Gentry. I don't know. Kansas City, Emmett Johnson, running back, Nebraska. Very weak. This guy didn't do much. Okay, he'll probably be a receiver out of the backfield. You got Walker. What are you going to do with this guy? Tennessee, Nicholas Singleton, running back, Penn State. Now, they had two running backs, Singleton and Allen. Allen was the better running back, so I don't know why they took Singleton ahead of Allen. I would have taken Allen. Do they need running back? Tennessee needs a quarterback, and they need defense, and they need a coach, and they need everything. So, again, Shala went to Tennessee. He's not going to be successful. He keeps taking these shit jobs, last place teams, and he doesn't know how to coach to make them better. He's not a good coach. So, I don't know. Decent. He'll be decent. Nothing. He won't do anything. Adam Randall, Baltimore, running back out of Clemson. I don't get all this Clemson shit. Is this analytics and AI thinking Clemson was good? Clemson sucked last year. Kubiak sucked. The defense sucked. They were not a very good team. What is with all this drafting of Clemson players? I don't get it. So Adam Randall, running back from Clemson for Baltimore, that's a wasted pick. It was in the 5th round. So it's a good time to waste a pick. Washington, 6th round, 6th pick, Katron Allen from Penn State. This is the better of the running backs. So why did Tennessee take the weaker? This guy's much better. This is a stud. This will be a good pick for Washington. Why is it in the 6th round, the 6th pick, their best pick? And again, they took a wide receiver from Clemson in the 1st or 2nd round. I don't get it. This guy should have been taken in the 1st or 2nd round. I don't get it. Demond Claiborne, Wake Forest, goes to the Vikings. Who knows? They do need running backs. I don't know if this guy's any good. 6th round. The Colts, Seth McGowan, running back, Kentucky. Yeah, okay, whatever. New England, Jam Miller, running back, Alabama. Now, he was pretty good. I don't mind that. Why is he picked in the 7th round, pick 29? This guy's a 2nd, 3rd round pick, or for sure a 3rd round pick. He was good at Alabama, one of the few that was good, but they're picking all the linemen and they're not picking the quality. All right, let's look at wide receiver. So we start off with a big mistake by Tennessee, Carnell Tate. Why would you pick him at the 4th pick? 1st round pick for Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate wasn't the best receiver on his team. That was Smith. What are you doing? This guy's average at best. He's not superstar. But he went to Ohio State. So you got a shit quarterback in Cam Ward, and now you got a 2nd string receiver as your 4th pick. Unbelievable. Pick 8, New Orleans, Jordan Tyson. All right, he's better than Tate. Not a 1st round pick, though. Philadelphia, Micah Lemon out of USC. I did like him. He was okay. I don't know if he's a 1st round pick, but that shows you they'll get rid of A.J. Brown and he'll come in. I don't think he's anywhere near A.J. Brown. If they trade A.J. Brown, what are they waiting for? But if they are, this guy, he's not better than Devontae Smith, who's average. So this guy will be average, but he is, it's like Meadowlark Lemon. Let's put it that way. Cleveland, KC Concepcion, wide receiver out of A&M. Maybe he had a big game against Notre Dame. I don't know. Again, Cleveland not knowing what they're doing. Your 1st round pick is not a wide receiver for Cleveland. Not this guy, anyway. All right. The JETS is Omar Cooper, wide receiver, Indiana. The Jets actually had a pretty good draft. This guy's very good. These guys out of Indiana, nobody's picking. What the fuck? He's 6 feet. He's a good. I was watching film on him. He's good. A lot of Indiana guys are much better than you think. They won the fucking title. They didn't do it because they don't have talent, right? So this guy, good pick by the JETSs. They have nothing. They have no receivers. The Niners, Deshaun Stribling, wide receiver, Mississippi. They threw the ball a lot. Probably be a backup somewhere. So the second round, first pick, you kind of blew it, but you do need receivers. It's just such a bad draft. Cleveland now is taking Denzel Boston, wide receiver of Washington. He's okay. He's not great. Cleveland, you still need a quarterback, even after that fantastic draft of the guy from North Dakota State or whatever. So decent pick, not a second round pick, but okay. The problem is there is no first and second round picks. There's not good players in this draft. I don't know if it's the AI where they're staying in school 18 years. I mean, these guys, because of COVID, are staying 6-7 years in school. So there's nothing. All the good ones are getting paid more in college. Which the NFL cannot like that. This hurts their product. This kind of draft where there's a bunch of shit, you've got problems, right? Because your product's failing miserably anyway. But now you have this. I'm confident they're skewing their numbers in the Nielsen ratings. They don't know how to count them because if the game's on Apple, how do you figure out people just having Apple? So there's 10 million people with Apple. They're not all watching the game, but how do you know what they're watching on Apple? And that's what you have no idea what I'm watching on Netflix or Tubi or Pluto or any of those. You just know I have it, but so I don't know that they're counting properly. And I just don't see it. Yeah, I saw that. I'll get to that. This is much more important, the draft, than Trump. Pittsburgh, Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. God knows Pitt needs offensive help. We'll see. Washington, Antonio Williams, wide receiver, Clemson. I don't get this pick. He's 5'11". He can't be a good receiver. With Penix, okay, the more offense you can add, the better. Malachi Fields, the Giants, wide receiver, Notre Dame. Okay, a good help for the guy from LSU that they got, Neighbors. So can hurt. These guys from Notre Dame can catch the ball. Miami, Caleb Douglas, wide receiver, Texas Tech. I don't mind going after a receiver from Texas Tech. Third round. Yeah, that's about right. Atlanta, Zachary Brandt, wide receiver, Georgia. Georgia didn't impress me with their offense last year. They're a pretty bad team for Georgia standards. They didn't have that strong defense. And, I wouldn't start drafting running backs and receivers from Georgia. So we'll see. But it's Atlanta, third rounder. Probably won't make the team. Baltimore, Jacoby Lane, USC. Okay, the only thing I like about this is from USC. Otherwise, stupid pick. The problem is Lamar. You haven't addressed that. Carolina, Chris Brazil, wide receiver, Tennessee. Okay, maybe he'll help. You still have Steve Young. You still got big problems. Tampa Bay, Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State. I really like this guy because Georgia State scored a ton. They were a good over team. And I think this definitely is a good. They had a great draft. They had the best draft. Reuben Bain, this guy should start. Off you go. The Bears, Zavon Thomas, wide receiver, LSU, 5'10", 192. One of these speed guys, probably a punt returner. They need defense. So, I know they got that too. Miami had like 100 picks. I mean, I don't know what was going on there. Miami, Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville. In the worst draft in the history of football, Miami's got 15 picks. Good luck, Miami. Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville. Is he supposed to replace Tyreek Hill and Waddle? Here's Chris Bell from Louisville. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's decent, Louisville. San Diego's got the stupidest GM in the history of life. Brennan Thompson, wide receiver, Old Mississippi State. 5'9", one side. I don't get it. Their draft was terrible, San Diego's. Baltimore, Elijah Savant. Now here again, this guy is very good. He made some great catches in the playoffs. And from Indiana, this is a much better pick than the last 5 picks I told you about. Baltimore had earlier one, I think. Yeah, Baltimore, Jacoby Lane. This guy's better than Jacoby Lane, their 3rd round pick. What the fuck are they doing? So your 4th round pick's better than your 3rd round pick. What? Hello, McFly. So I like this guy, Sarant. He's very good. Pittsburgh, Caden Wetjet from Iowa. I don't know. I'm not drafting receivers from Iowa. Buffalo, Skylar Bell, wide receiver. I did look this guy up. He's very good. He's not a 4th rounder. He's a 2nd rounder. New Orleans, Bryce Lance, wide receiver. This is Trey Lance's brother. And we know how good Trey Lance is. You're out of your fucking mind drafting these guys out of North Dakota State. Maybe back in the day when they won the title every year, but even then they weren't very good. Cincinnati, Colby Young, wide receiver, Georgia. I don't know. You've got T. Higgins and you've got whatchamacallit. What's my buddy's name? Chase. You got Chase and Higgins. What are you drafting this guy for? I know they drafted a lot of defense and some linemen. You need a running back there. All right. Arizona, Veggie Virgil, wide receiver, Texas Tech. Okay, I like Texas Tech. Probably a good move. Detroit, wide receiver, Kendrick Law from Kentucky. What a joke. Why do the Lions need a wide receiver? You got St. Thomas. You got the guy from Alabama, and then the guy you drafted last year from Arkansas. What do you need defense, fellas? 5th round pick. What a joke that is. He'll be nothing. Kansas City, Cyrus Allen from Cincinnati. Hopefully he's good. I've never heard of this guy. Miami, again, Kevin Coleman, wide receiver, Missouri, 5'11", 180. So they're drafting these fast guys. Who knows? Miami needs receiver. They need everything. They need a coach. They need a quarterback. New Orleans, another pick. Barian Brown from LSU. He's probably their 3rd or 4th stringer. I mean, he's not one of the starters. Those have been gone. So another fast receiver like Boutte, right? So, he's from LSU. I'm sure he's good. That's why I talk about the team. If you get a receiver from LSU, you know he's going to be good. If you get one from North Dakota State, you have no idea what you're doing. Jacksonville, Josh Cameron from Baylor. Okay, I like it because he's from Baylor, and those guys can catch. That's a passing school. That's, even though it's a 6th round pick, probably should have been a 3rd round pick. Oakland, Malik Benson from TBD. I didn't know TBD had a school. So you don't know, who is this guy? Malik Benson from nowhere. So good luck, Oakland. What a diamond in the rough that was. The Rams, CJ Daniels from Miami. I like this pick. He's out of Miami. He's much better than the guy from North Dakota State and whoever Oakland just took. Now, this makes more sense for LA. They get another receiver in case Devontae Adams has the hamstring and Puka gets hurt. So this is a good pick. Not the quarterback, this one. Seattle, Emmanuel Henderson, wide receiver from TBD. What do you mean TBD? Didn't he play? So I don't know if he didn't play how good he is, but okay. Jacksonville, CJ Williams, Stanford. I would not take anybody from Stanford, especially in the 6th round. Houston, Lewis Bond from Boston College. I question the school. 5'11", 190. And I disagree with this. Your problem, CJ Stroud, not your receivers. Dallas, Anthony Smith from East Carolina. Who knows? Dallas had a terrible draft. Indiana, Deion Burks, wide receiver, Oklahoma. Okay, I like this, although he's 5'9". Apparently, it doesn't affect wide receivers like it affects things. So I don't know what they're doing with this guy, and that's it. Okay, let's switch to. We'll get back to the draft. They went after Trump. I saw that at a dinner. He got shot at, but they didn't kill him. It could have been anybody: the Russians, the Israelis. Anybody. Everybody hates Trump. He's the stupidest guy I've ever seen. Drew Brees was a good quarterback, and he was not a big guy. Yeah, I've already said that. TBD means to be determined. Yeah, but it's the college he went to. It's not to be determined. What college did he play for last year? Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma. So I know what it means, but it doesn't make sense unless you're drafting a guy who didn't go to college. So if that's what the Raiders did, then that's it. But I know what TBD means. So, yeah, Trump was at a dinner and he was a speaker and somebody shot at him and they keep missing. I don't get this. How hard is it to hit the guy? So he's causing a big problem. It was probably Israel who shot at him. He wants to end the war. Israel doesn't want it to end. So if they shoot Trump, maybe the war will keep going on. I don't know. I don't get where he's so easily shot at. I mean, I know the government is corrupt, but this is ridiculous. I mean, how it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense that he got shot at. He was speaking. They hit him in the ear. Now he's at a dinner, and again, they take a shot at him. How do these guys get in the building with guns? Or is it an FBI agent gone rogue like Mission Impossible? I don't know, but it just seems like he makes a lot of enemies. He's very egotistical and he doesn't seem to give a shit about anybody except himself. So I don't know. I'll assume it's Israel firing at him. But they missed them again. So this is, I think, the third attempt. Just crazy. But I'm not a big Trump fan. I thought he was going to end the Israeli war or the Ukraine war when I was happy for me and Daria, but he didn't do shit. He lies. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. You think there's going to be a gold standard, then it's crypto, and then it's not crypto. And he just says it so his sons can make a lot of money on the options. Oh, the war's over and the oil option drops. And oh, we're going to do this, then we're going to barricade and the oil options go up. He's fucking with our gold, which I don't like. And basically, he's not doing anything. The blockade's absolutely a joke. We won the war. We didn't win the war. We're down 75-0 in Iran. Iran has won the war. They've killed us. What is he talking about? You don't want nukes because if you nuke Iran, you're getting nuked by China and Russia. So you're fucked. You don't want to do that. You don't want to kill everybody, Trump. I know you're kind of delusional, but you can't do that. So anyway, I just think that it's crazy. They're allowed to get gunmen close enough to shoot them. Where's your Secret Service? Where's your FBI? Unless it's an inside job where Secret Service is shooting at them. That's the only thing that makes sense. I watch enough Mission Impossible and James Bond to realize that. James Bond shot the Russian guy on purpose, but he had a little jacket on and he really didn't shoot him. I've seen that. So maybe it was James Bond shooting at him. Only he wouldn't miss. Yeah, I don't get it. All right, enough of that. Let's go to the draft. Now I'm into defensive ends. And Tampa Bay gets the steal of the draft. Tampa Bay had the best draft by far by picking Rueben Bain out of Miami in the 15th pick. How does he go to 15? How do the Rams at 13 take Ty Simpson over Rueben Bain? The Rams would win the Super Bowl with this guy. You got Pukanuka, Devontae Adams, you got Stafford. You got a guy like Rueben Bain to go with that defense. It's all over. No, we're going to take Ty Simpson. Are you out of your mind? Ty Simpson will never see the field. He'll see it in the exhibition like Stenson Benson, but Stenson Benson's much better. Ty Simpson's nothing. So anyway, Rueben Bain goes to Tampa, the best pick in the draft. Akeem Messiador, also from Miami, goes to San Diego. That's the only good San Diego pick they've ever made. Why did the Lions not take this guy? Why would the Lions, who need a edge rusher as good as this guy, either trade up to get Rueben Baines because they were 17, he was 15, or take Messiador? No, you take an offensive tackle from Clemson who probably sucks. This is why you take the skill player. You always go take a guy like Rueben Bain and this guy over any offensive lineman because all I need to do is put this guy on the other side of the line. I put him on the same side as the Clemson guy and watch him get 15 sacks in the game. I mean, yeah, this is really stupid. Dallas, Malaki Lawrence from UCF. Really? I question that. Very stupid pick. Tennessee, Keldrick Falk from Auburn. Auburn, okay, decent team. Maybe he starts. I doubt it. Buffalo, T.J. Parker from Clemson. All right, Clemson did not have a good defense. Why didn't you get a guy from Indiana, Texas Tech? Okay, the Miami guys were gone. So where's the Texas Tech guy and where's the Indiana guy? Ohio State had a couple of guys. And you go to Clemson? No, don't like it. Kansas City, Mason Thomas, defensive end, Oklahoma. I like this much better. Oklahoma with a much better defense than Clemson. I like the Oklahoma is also a very good defensive school. Buffalo, Cassius Howell, defensive end, A&M. I like this pick. Although there's a lot of A&M guys picked, and I'm like not aware that A&M had a real good team, but okay. They did beat Notre Dame, 42-41. So, yeah, they must have a really good defense. Derek Moore, defensive end at Michigan. I watched film on this guy. He sucks. The Ohio State game, didn't do anything. Didn't make a sack, didn't make a tackle. He doesn't make a lot of tackles. He just lines up really wide and tries to sack. But the right tackle, the Ohio State right tackle dominated him. What's he going to do in the pros? This is a terrible pick. He's a backup at best, but not what you would want in the second round. Not very good. Baltimore, Zion Young, defensive end, Missouri. Okay, I like this one. Again, the guys from Missouri are very good. So this is a good pick for Baltimore. New England, Gabe Jackass from Illinois. Okay, good school, good defense, Illinois. I don't mind it. Oakland, Kenron Crawford, defensive end, Auburn, round 3. This is a good pick for Oakland. You want because obviously Max Crosby's got a knee problem. He's probably done. Maybe he plays, but I don't see a whole lot and at the same skill set. It's like Hutchinson on the Lions. He's done. He broke his leg in half. He's done. He's not the same player as before the injury. He doesn't, he's not going to do it. And now you paid him, so now he doesn't give a shit. You got to realize, I give a guy 30 million, I'd be like sitting on a beach somewhere. I'm not working hard. I got what I wanted. And I like how the Lions now are drafting guys from Michigan, like, oh, that's the answer. No, it's Ohio State, Indiana, not Michigan. So I like this pick from Oakland. It should help their defense with again Max Crosby. I don't know. Do you at least need to solidify your defense? God knows Mendoza. Good luck. Kirk Cousins, if he's in the game, you got big problems. I like Gentry. I like Brock Bowers. They need some more receivers and some more offensive line. San Francisco, Romeo Height from defensive end, Texas Tech, love the pick. They need defense. They need to restore. They got a lot of injuries, a lot of free agents left. So this is a good pick for them. Again, Texas Tech, 7 defense. Yeah. Dallas, Jayshwan Barnum, defensive end, Michigan. I didn't know Michigan had such a great defense, had 2 defensive ends. Apparently they do. Neither of them showed up in the Ohio State game. Maybe this guy's better than the other guy. 8 did nothing in the Ohio State game. Maybe one had a little pressure. But against a good team, neither of them showed up. So, all right, we'll see. It's a good pick for Dallas getting a defensive end. I'm just not sure from Michigan. Jacksonville, Wesley Williams, defensive end, Duke. Okay, good pick from the position standpoint. I'm not really running to get guys from Duke. Green Bay, Danny Dennis Sutton from Penn State. Okay, I like this pick. Penn State, good defensive team. Sounds like a good, it's a need position. We got Micah Parsons, so let's see. Dallas, another defensive end, Overton from Alabama. Again, Alabama was not very good last year. Had, 4 or 5 losses, didn't make the playoff. I don't know why you draft a guy from Alabama over Texas Tech and Ohio. Like, why aren't there Ohio State guys going? So, again, it shows Dallas has a weak defense, but we'll see. I think they still do. Washington, Joshua Joseph, defensive end, Tennessee. I like this. It fits Washington. Hopefully he'll play. Again, I don't know. Indy, defensive end, George Gums from Florida. Very leery of the Florida guys. Tennessee, Jackie Marshall, defensive end, Baylor. I question this. You're drafting a defensive end from Baylor in the 6th round. Baylor did not have a good defense. Baylor's an offensive team. You want receivers, running backs, you go to Baylor. Quarterbacks. The Baylor quarterback, Josh Hoover, I think, went to Indiana. So he'll be the first pick. He's not even in the listed now, but he'll be the first pick in the draft because he's at Indiana, and they'll be in the conference. They'll be in the playoff finals again. Tennessee, Jackie Marshall, Baylor again. A big mistake. Indiana, here you go. Caden Curry, defensive end, Ohio State. This is the guy's in the 6th round. He's probably the third string, defensive end, but okay, I don't mind it. From Ohio State, obviously he's good. And that's the other thing. I get a guy from Ohio State versus North Dakota State. To make the Ohio State team, you must be a pro. To make the North Dakota State team, I have no idea what you're even doing. You must suck to have to go there and not make the team, not be good enough for the Big Ten or even the MAC. That's the problem I have with the smaller schools. All right, so good pick for Indy. Miami with the 18th pick. Max Llewellyn, defensive end, Iowa. I do like the pick because it's from Iowa, but he's probably not a starter. New England, Hutchins from Boston College. I question that, but since they're in New England, I don't know. Let's assume they know what they're doing. The Eagles, newbie defensive end from New Mexico. Oh, my God. Okay, good luck with that one. I'm sure he'll have a lot of playing time. So that's pretty much it. We can go into teams. So let's start with Baltimore. The guard from Penn State, Okay, I don't know. I wouldn't have wasted a first pick, number 14, with the guard from Penn State, but okay. Zion Young, a defensive end from Missouri. Okay, that you probably, what was this pick? 14th pick. You could have had Reuben Bain, and you took this guy. Okay, good luck with that, Baltimore. And then they wonder why they don't win a playoff game. You fucking can't even do it. So you say, well, they didn't need a defensive. Well, they took a defensive end in the second round, pick 13 from Missouri. So probably a better pick. The first pick's a joke. Never take an offensive lineman in the first round because you can get the same guy in the third round as you got in the first round. Then they get Jacoby Lane from USC, which again, I think the guy from Indiana they drafted later is better. I don't mind this pick terribly. I think it's early, but I don't mind it terribly because USC is a passing school. At least the guy learned how to run routes and catch the ball. Sarah, yes, that's the guy. So you've got your draft pick fucked up. Your fourth round pick's better than your third round pick by a mile. So I don't know what you're thinking, but you got two good receivers. You got Zay Flowers, I think. Is he still there? Problem is you need a quarterback. You're not winning with Lamar. It doesn't matter. Baltimore. Oh, okay, I'm on Baltimore. Hibner, tight end, SMU. Okay, SMU, good passing team. Probably makes sense. Chandler Rivers, cornerback from Duke. Okay, he'll probably be in the punt return team. Tight end, Alabama. That's a joke. A running back from Clemson. He'll never see the field. A punter from Michigan State. Seriously, you're drafting punters in the sixth round from Michigan State. I didn't know they had this great punter. Why would you draft a punter in the sixth round? Oh, my God. And then Benny, defensive tackle from Michigan. That's a stupid pick. And then a offensive guard from Northwestern with their seventh round pick, which he'll never see the field. This guy from Michigan will never see the field, defensive tackle. The punter, who knows? Randall, the running back, Clemson, will never see the field. Again, this is probably the worst draft I've ever seen. There is absolutely no talent. There's maybe 10 guys. And then the best guy you didn't draft. He's too small, and he's got an attitude. How many murderers and rapists did I just name, right? But it's okay. They can play football. They're 6'3", so they can be sexual offenders, rapists, and all that. That's okay because they're 6'3". But Pavia's got an attitude. No, we don't want that in football. All right, let's see. Who should we look at? Let's look at Buffalo. Oh, they start off with a defensive end from Clemson. I just don't get it. Cornerback from Ohio State. That I like. There you go. Cornerback, Ohio State, second round, although I don't know if he was a starter. Bowery, offensive tackle from BC. Okay, but it's in the fourth round. This guy's as good as the first round guys. You can't tell me all he has to do is block the guy. It's not that hard. Either he can block or he can't. And if he can't block, he wouldn't have started at Boston College, right? Skylar Bell, wide receiver, Connecticut. At first I laughed at this, and then I saw his stats, and I go, this was a steal in the fourth round, this guy. Or linebacker TCU. I question it, but God knows Buffalo needs help defensively. Then a cornerback from South Carolina in the fifth round. Okay, maybe. Defensive tackle, Penn State in the fifth round. Again, the better players are in the fifth and sixth round, not the third and fourth or the second. Pride, cornerback from Missouri. We'll see how good he is. Tommy Don, another punter from Florida. I love how these guys can just pick punters up because you can't get them in free agents after the seventh round. So I question that pick. Reed Adams, guard from A&M. And there's my point. This guy will be as good as anybody taken in the first round. Guard at A&M. I assume he's a starter. All right, let's go to the Bears. The Bears, they start off with a safety from Oregon in the first round. Questionable pick, but okay. I don't mind it because, pretty good defense, Oregon. We'll see. But the Bears need defense, right? Then they go to a center from Iowa in the second round. Okay, yeah, okay, maybe I can understand that. A little early to take a center, but okay. Then they get a tight end from Stanford. Well, you got Loveland from Michigan from last year. I don't know why you're getting another tight end, but maybe you want to run block more and have two tight ends in the game. Okay, but this guy's not that good. Then we go to round 3, and they get Thomas, a wide receiver from LSU. Okay, I like this. This fits the Bears. This is a quick guy. He's 5'10", 192 from LSU. Good pick. Then they get cornerback from Texas in the 4th round. I like it. Texas, he's good. Okay. I would have picked him ahead of the center. I didn't get the center. Then they get 5th round Elliott, linebacker, Arizona State. I don't know. Arizona State was okay. They were better when they had Scadaboo, and they had the good quarterback. So I don't know that Arizona State's all that, but linebacker, if he's any good, that's a good need for them. Then they get a defensive tackle from Georgia Tech. I don't know what that is in the 6th round. That's all they got. Let's go to Dallas and see the Jerry show. They start off with Caleb Downs with the 11th pick. You could have had Reuben Baines. The reason I say that is because they did take 2 defensive ends later on. But why not take Reuben Baines? You don't need a safety from Ohio State. Is not a good pick in the first round. The first 11 pick, maybe like pick 28 or something. Could have had Reuben Baines. You fucked up. Downs is okay. He ain't Reuben Baines. And here's my pick. Round 1, pick 23, Maliki Lawrence, defensive end, UCF. So you obviously wanted the defensive end. Why didn't you take Reuben Bain? Unbelievable. So is this guy any good? I don't know. UCF, they're okay. You did have a defense. I think it's a bad pick. Then they go after another defensive end from Michigan, Barham, who's average at best. They didn't really have that great of a defense. Didn't show up in the Ohio State game. Can't look at the bowl game because nobody plays for Michigan in the bowl games. So, again, I didn't realize their defense was this bad. I know they need a running back. 4th round, they're now taking an offensive tackle from Penn State. Okay, that's when you're supposed to take your offensive tackles. This guy, take from Penn State, will be just as good as the Lions' first pick. Their offensive tackle from the powerhouse Clemson. But you wasted your first round pick on a tackle, and here they got it in the 4th round. There's no difference. Devin Moore, cornerback from Florida. So Dallas is, I need defense. Another defensive end, Overton from Alabama. What are you doing? You could have had Reuben Bain, and now you're taking 3 defensive ends that are not as good as Reuben Bain. It's insane. Smith, the wide receiver from East Carolina. Okay, he might see the field. I don't know. You got Pickens and you got CeeDee Lamb. I don't know what you're doing with this guy. And that's it. Let's go to our beloved Lions. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson, round 1, pick 17. Absolutely terrible mistake. Why didn't you trade up for Reuben Bain? Because you clearly needed defensive work. You were all excited getting the guy from Michigan when you could have had the best defensive player, the best player in the draft. Unbelievable. So you get an offensive tackle, and I just told you the Bears guy in the 4th round from Penn State is the same as this guy. I just don't get it. Oh, he's 6'6", 315. That must be why, because it doesn't matter if you can play as long as you're tall and you're 315. That makes you a good blocker, I guess. It's so stupid. Then they get Derek Moore, defensive end from Michigan. I watched the Ohio State game, didn't make one tackle, didn't make one pressure, did not show up. Great. Yeah, that'll solve it. But they'll sell it like now we got our defensive lineman, which you don't. He'll be lucky. If he starts, you won't do anything. You won't hear him get sacks or anything. Linebacker from Michigan. What is with all these Michigan players? Jimmy Rolder, linebacker, Michigan. I don't know. You need help on defense. Problem with it is when you get the guys injured, they're just not the same. You lost both your safeties. So you get a linebacker from Michigan who's not very good. You get a defensive end from Michigan. You don't even get the right players from Michigan. Here's where you take your Ohio State players. Take the linebacker from Ohio State. No. They take this guy. Okay, fourth rounder. He's probably a decent fourth round pick, but nothing special. Then Abney, cornerback from Arizona State in the fifth round. I doubt he's any good, but they need cornerbacks. Kendrick Law, wide receiver, Kentucky. He sucks. Gil Howard, defensive tackle from Texas Tech. I don't understand why a very good defense in Texas Tech has their defensive tackle going in the sixth round, but this might be their best defensive player that they got. Tyree West, defensive tackle from Tennessee. So they're taking the Tennessee guys won't play. The Texas Tech guy will probably be their best defensive player. This wide receiver Kentucky won't see the field. The cornerback from Arizona State will see it because they're injured. So what they're doing is they're picking up defensive linemen and cornerbacks because they're injured and they need the players. But the question is, are these players any good? And looking at it, this is a terrible – I give this grade a D. Picking an offensive tackle in the first round, huge mistake. I know they need offensive line help, but you could have got the Penn State guy in the fourth round. Then you get a defensive end from Michigan instead of getting Ruben Bain. You can't explain how stupid they are. Oh, he was a great GM. Yeah, it looks like an idiot. Moore is not the defensive end you get. In round 2, pick 12, this is not what you want, right? You want a defensive end, but this guy's not a second rounder. And then you go to a linebacker, and then you go to a cornerback. So you can see they understand the needs of the defensive line, but who they took, I don't know who you got from. Okay, in the sixth round, this Howard guy from Texas Tech, was he a starter? Is he any good? I know Texas Tech had a great defense, and it was mostly Bailey, and they had really good linebackers. I don't know. So that's the thing. So I'll give it a D. Taking Miller, offensive tackle from Clemson, first round is a huge mistake, especially when you could have had Ruben Bain, or you could maybe trade for him. But certainly there was much better players after him that they could have got. That guy from Miami, the other guy, not Bain, Menestral or whatever his name is. You took two defensive ends, so why didn't you take him? Because you're not going to find him. And, I can take an offensive lineman in the second round instead of the defensive end from Michigan. All right. Let's look at the Packers. Cornerback, South Carolina. Defensive tackle from Missouri. Okay, I like that. Jordan Love. Running back, you got Jacobs. Receivers, I think you got a bunch of them, but they all seem to stink. So I don't know. Willis, who was a better quarterback than Love, you let go. Defensive end from Penn State, Sutton. Okay, I like that. Burton, center from Kentucky. It's the fifth round. It's probably it'll probably be a backup. And a cornerback from Alabama will do nothing. The kicker from Florida. That's 2 kickers from Florida. A kicker and a punter. I didn't know Florida had such great kickers last year. All right, let's go to Kansas City. Let's see what the Mahomes team. They started off with Delaney, a cornerback from LSU with the 6th pick. questionable, but since they got rid of McDuffie, this seems like a perfect pick to replace McDuffie. And he's from LSU, not Alabama, so he should be really good. Woods, a defensive tackle from Clemson in the first round. I don't get it. Not like Clemson had a good team, which means they don't have good players, because if they did, the team wouldn't have sucked last year. Then they get Thomas, defensive end from Oklahoma, who's, I would say, better than the guy from Clemson. Defensive tackle from Clemson, that's a waste. But the defensive end from Oklahoma, that he'll start. Then they got John Candy, a cornerback from Oregon. Okay, that gives them 2 cornerbacks, 2 defensive linemen. Then they get a running back from Nebraska. I question, but he's fifth round. And Allen, a wide receiver from Cincinnati, is probably lousy. And Nussmeier, why are you drafting this guy in the 7th round? He stinks. You could have picked him up as a free agent, or God bless, get Dagi Opava in the 7th round. That's what's amazing, is nobody in the 7th round took Dagi Opava. Oh, he's too small. Okay, so what? Who are you taking in the 7th round that's going to make your team? Maybe he's not too small. Maybe the fact he beat Alabama will show you he's a really good player. No, we're going to take a defensive end from North Dakota State over Dagi. Or even better yet, Nussmeier, who lost his job. We'll take him over Dagi, because he's 6'1". So yeah, but he stinks, and that's the point. So overall, they added some defense that they needed. Kansas City. Let's look at Oakland. I know everybody wants Oakland. I think we looked at Oakland, didn't we? No, we'll look at them again. So they draft Mendoza. He'll be a good backup. Cornerback, Arizona. Good defensive help. Defensive end from Auburn. Offensive tackle. See, 3rd round offensive tackle, and that's what the Lions should have got with their 3rd round pick, but they didn't have one. Cornerback, Tennessee. Running back from Arkansas. Safety from Arizona. So 2 safeties from Arizona. I didn't know they had a good defense. Massis, cornerback from Cal. Who knows? Benson from TBD, the newest college. Wide receiver, and a defensive tackle from NC State. So pretty good draft for Oakland. Although Mendoza at the first pick should have been Reuben Bain. Then you can pick up you could have picked up Pavia in the 7th. You could pick him up as a free agent, and you'd be way ahead. Let's look at Philadelphia. Meadowlark Lemon, wide receiver, 1st round pick. It only works if you're getting rid of A.J. Brown. And if you're getting rid of him, why didn't you trade him and then get some more draft picks? He's a good player. Stowers must be good. He's from Vanderbilt, tight end. I like him. Offensive tackle from Miami, but he's not the good one. He's another 6'9", 345. Holy shit. Patton, quarterback, North Dakota State, a big waste of a pick. Micah Morris, guard, Georgia. Okay, that can't hurt. A guard from Georgia. Wisniewski, safety from Texas Tech, probably all pro. In the 7th round. That's why Philadelphia is good. They get the guys from the good defensive teams, Texas Tech. Here we go. Uwe Bernard. This is the 7th round pick. Defensive tackle from Nigeria. Probably he's never seen a football game. You could have had Dagi Opava, but no, we're going to take Uwe Bernard, a defensive tackle from Nigeria. Is that his college? Was that University of Nigeria or Nigeria State? And then Newby, defensive end from New Mexico. So overall, weak draft for that. Pittsburgh, for our Steeler fans. So they start off with the 21st pick, an offensive tackle from Arizona State. What are you guys doing? I'm not saying you don't need an offensive tackle, but is this guy better than the guy from Penn State in the 4th round? No. Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. I question that. But okay, you needed a wide receiver. Drew Allard, what the fuck are you doing? Terrible pick. He won't beat out Will Howard. And if if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back and Howard gets hurt and you got this guy, you're not going to win a game. Cornerback from Georgia. Okay, I like that pick. Offensive tackle from Iowa. There you go. Round 3, pick 32. Offensive tackle from Iowa. That's how you pick offensive lineman. I guarantee you he's as good as anybody in the first round that you got. Wide receiver from Iowa. I don't love it. And then a tight end from Indiana. I like. He's better than the wide receiver from Iowa you took. And then Rubio, defensive lineman from Notre Dame. Okay, from Notre Dame. And Jennings, safety from Oklahoma. Okay. And then my favorite pick, the fullback from Navy in the 7th round. There you go. I like that pick. And let's look at Seattle, the Super Bowl team. I question Price, the running back from Notre Dame, is the backup. You're going to replace Kenneth Walker with a backup? Clark, the safety from TCU, cornerback from Arkansas, I like. Guard from Iowa in the 5th round. They know how to draft. Henderson. I mean, what is block? You just block. Oh, he's a first-round pick because of what? He's got good footwork. They all have good footwork. What do you think they learn? Do you think the guy from Iowa can't block? Then a wide receiver from TBD, and then a cornerback from Toledo. A lot of secondary. Defensive tackle from Minnesota, a cornerback from Arizona. So a lot of the 3 cornerbacks they drafted. Interesting. And our Niners. Stribling, wide receiver from Mississippi. The first pick of the 2nd round. Is this the best receiver they could find? But because Mississippi throws the ball a lot, I don't mind it. God knows they need receiver help. They need defense. And they get defensive end, Texas Tech, A+. Black, running back from Indiana, A+. Halden, defensive tackle, Oklahoma, A+. Willis, offensive tackle. Oh, a 4th round offensive tackle from Washington, who will be just as good as any of the first round picks. Good pick. Cornerback from Washington, they need it. Linebacker from Lou Lafayette. You got to give them credit. There's the only player I think from Lou Lafayette, but they need linebacker. They need defense. Another offensive tackle from Kansas. And Kansas, that's one I didn't see that quarterback drafted, Jalen Daniels, the other Jalen Daniels, who has got to be better than these piece of shit quarterbacks that I saw get drafted. And that's it. So let's get out of here and let's go to the NBA and make our picks. So yesterday in the NBA, we go 3-1. It's all logic in this. So we start with Orlando beating the Pistons 113-105. We took Orlando plus 2.5. Now notice I'm playing 2 units. I'm about to start playing 4 and 5 units in the next few games because they're more meaningful. Orlando leads the series 2-1. So in game 4, we'll probably bet the Pistons because they can't go down 3-1. But I don't trust the Pistons. It's about they're not going to win the series, but when you're down 2-1 and you got game 4, you play better. So that's what we have. Oklahoma, we took minus 9.5. They win 121-109 over Phoenix. They're up. They won by 12, and now they're up 3-0. So Oklahoma will take it easy on them in game 4, but they should get the sweep. But that's the true number 1 seed, right? The Knicks over Atlanta. They lost 2 in a row, the Knicks. They had to win. They win 114-98. We're laying 2.5, 2 units, 3-0. And then the surprise game was Denver. Minnesota beat them 112-96. Anthony Davis is out for a while, I guess. Edwards will reportedly miss multiple weeks, tears his Achilles. So Minnesota's all dead. We're going to jump on Denver big next game. But Minnesota wins 112-96. I was shocked. Denver's now down 3-1. So this is going to be a big lock the next game. Denver must win or they're out. They're at home, and their best player, Anthony Davis, is out. So I always think of the guy from USC, the kickoff return. So Minnesota doesn't need the game. They're up 3-1. Their best player's out, and Denver cannot. They're down 3-1. They have to win. So this is my only loser. So it's plus 4 units. So I win 2 units, 2 units, 2 units. I win 6 units, lose 2. So I'm plus 4 units. 3-1. Good day in the NBA. Let's look at today. What are we doing in the NBA today? Game starts at 1. That's pretty close. If Raptors can pull even, Barnes will have to lead change again. I don't know what that means. Cleveland and Toronto. Cleveland 4.5. Cleveland's up 2-1. I like Toronto in this. Toronto plus 4.5. You got a home dog in a must-win game, and I'll go 2 units. I should start going 3 units, but let's keep it conservative for now. There'll be better games, but this is must-win. They go down 3-1. They got to go to Cleveland. It's all over, and they won at home, and this is what you look at. Cleveland wins at home. Toronto wins at home. This is in Toronto. It's must-win, and they're a home dog. It's beautiful. Spurs go to Portland. San Antonio leads 2-1. Portland, I think, won the last game, or Portland won maybe game 2. Yeah, I think San Antonio killed them. Yeah, so now you have San Antonio 4.5. You got to like Portland here to at least play. They were beating them, and then San Antonio made a run at the end to win. I thought I was going to win with Portland. So Portland must win. They go down 3-1. They're done. Winnebago, I don't think, is playing. Is him playing tonight? He's listed as questionable. I don't think he'll play because they're up 2-1 and they'll save him for the next game, I would think. But if we hear he's playing, that's different. If he's not playing, we like Portland plus 4.5. 2 units. And again, you've got San Antonio leads 2-1. Portland had him most of the game in game 3, and they did beat them in San Antonio in game 2. So San Antonio gets mad. They win game 3, but now it's backs against the wall, do or die for Portland. Without Wembanyama, I think Portland can at least play a game, and they've already beaten them. So I think, and again, in game 2, Wembanyama got the concussion, so that's why they won. If he plays, we got to take San Antonio. But right now he's questionable. So the game's at 3:30. We'll see. Boston goes to Philly. Boston 7.5, 213. Celtics have thrived as road favorites. Boston leads the series 2-1. So Philly got its win. Now, on one hand, this is do or die for Philly, but I just don't think they're good enough to do anything. Is there let's see. Here's the latest. MB status up in the air as Sixers look for another bounce back. So again, we're still getting the injury crap. Like Wembanyama, is he playing? Embiid, is he playing? It's do or die for them, but it's up in the air. So is it really up in the air? So again, we have to be curious. This game is at 7 o'clock tonight. So if we hear, that'll dictate. Right now, Philly really needs the game, and they did win in Boston. Boston off the loss won. This game's got me a little confused because the place Philadelphia, but I don't like them. But Boston, it's better if the series is tied to bet Boston game 5. So I don't want a loser here. So I'm gonna circle Philadelphia, but I don't like it. I'm not gonna bet it. Plus 7.5. We'll see. It's not worth betting because we don't know if Embiid's playing or not. So with Wembanyama, it's okay because we like Portland. In their last game, the Lakers and the Rockets. Lakers are up 3-0. Houston's laying 4. Houston's the favorite here. I don't know what to do. They should have won game 3. Is Kevin Durant play today? He's listed as questionable, so I don't know. With the spread laying the 4.5, weren't they 7.5 the other day? So again, Houston has to win, minus 4.5. I'll go 2 units on Houston, even without Durant. They were up 6 with 30 seconds left and the ball in game 2 or game 3. We're going to win. We're laying 6. They're going to get fouled and they lose the game. I mean, what the fuck? So they were up 6. Yeah, it's LeBron. He gets all the whistles. But I think Houston blows them out. They're down 3-0. They have to win. And the Lakers don't have to win. So the Lakers kind of relax. They're up 3-0. Houston in the do or die game. They're a 52-win team. So I like Houston here. The difference is they're playing the Lakers without Luca Brasi, where Boston's a much better team than Philly. And I think Boston can win tonight. So I'm leaving that alone. So we're going to go Toronto plus 4.5. I love that one. Portland plus 4.5 without Wembanyama. I love that one. Philly plus 7.5. I don't love it. And I didn't play it. And then Houston minus 4.5. They're down 3-0. It's sweet. And normally what happens here is Houston at home is a good team. Durant will probably play a little, and because this is the end of the season, and I think Houston will beat them. And the Lakers, they'll bet ready for game 5. But generally, the Lakers is not a team that's going to sweep Houston, even with the injury. So there you go. That's basketball. Let's look at baseball. So I think I read through our baseball results yesterday. We hit the Yankees. We lose Atlanta and the Cubbies. We win with Ric Flair, even though they were down big. He only pitched 3 innings. He pitched terrible. We hit Toronto, Kevin Gausman. We hit the 49ers. We lost with Tampa, but we didn't bet it. We went over. Arizona under 16 was our lock, and it was 6-4. Texas wins over 8. Kansas City wins over 8.5. Pittsburgh loses under 8. They scored a lot of runs. And then Cincinnati and the Tigers over 9.5, and that one. So we go plus 4, even, minus 4, and minus 2, plus 2. We're back to even. We won 2 on the Niners. We won 5 on the Arizona under 7. So we plus 7 units. So overall, we made 11 units yesterday, which is the whole nature of the beast. Anytime you get a positive result, it's good. And I am getting pretty good at this. Okay. Let's go to today's matchups. Now, Philly won, so they're not on the losing streak. The only streak there is the Yankees. All right, so let's go to 426. And put your card in the slot. Okay, we start off with Philly at Atlanta at 1:30. All right. We got Aaron Nola, who's got a 5.19. He's pitching terrible. We got Atlanta minus 208 is the total, and Chris Sale going for Atlanta. So I like Atlanta here. I'll take Chris Sale 2 units minus 200. Again, Philly did get the win, but I don't like so now you go back to just picking the games. So when you got the streak, like we're just going to put down New York Yankees, right? But so in the streak, we put down Atlanta and we put the Cubs down on their streaks. Now that's over. Now we go back to picking based on the pitchers and ignoring them. You don't just play a team because they're on the streak. So, like I said, we won like 6 or 7 games on Atlanta and the Cubs. And then we have one loser, and now we're gone. And now we look for the next team. Who's on the next streak? We'll see. I think Minnesota's lost 3 in a row. Boston had lost a bunch, and they killed Baltimore yesterday. So let's see. Boston, C. Early with the 2.88 ERA goes against Baltimore. Bradish 4.68. The way Boston hit yesterday and who they're playing, it's total 7.5. I'm going over. Boston over 7.5. I'm going to go 2 units. When a team scores like they did and they had the bad losing streak and they finally get the win and they fired their manager, was it the manager's fault they lost 10 in a row? Well, I don't know. It seems weird you'd fire the manager, but okay. So anyway, I certainly don't like Bradish at 4.68 with a 1.3. Baltimore's a 1.32 and a 7.5. And I don't buy Bradish at the 4.68, and they just scored 17 runs yesterday. He's going to keep the score down. All right, Cleveland goes to Toronto. We won with Gausman yesterday. We got Toronto minus 120, 8.5. We got Corbin with a 3.86 ERA going against Sassoni with a 6.38. Not pretty. I like this game over. Toronto over 8.5, and I'll go 2 units. Cleveland's been hitting. Toronto at home hits pretty good. Colorado against the Mets. The Mets minus 235, 7.5. McLean 235 against Quintana with a 6.23. So I do like the Mets at home, but I'm not going to lay 235. And the total is 7.5. Colorado's been playing low-scoring games, so I'm going to stay away from that. So no play there. Minnesota, Tampa Bay 140, 8.5. We had Tampa Bay over yesterday. We didn't bet it. We had it, and it didn't get there, so it was low scoring. And I'm always confused by these teams. Tampa, Minnesota's, what are they? Can they hit or not? When I look at the box score, it doesn't really matter. You'll see this guy hitting 140, he gets 3 for 4. And occasionally you get guys hitting 330. That's what I question about the Tigers manager. I don't think he has a brain in his head. The 320 hitter on Cincinnati goes 3 for 5, drives in 5 runs. Why are you pitching to this guy? They only have 3 hitters on the team. He doesn't understand. You just pitch certain guys carefully because they're the only guys that can beat you. How stupid are these managers? So Tampa Bay 140, 8.5 to Minnesota. Woods Richardson, the 6.12 ERA. He stinks. And G. Jacks sounds like either a reliever or somebody who's never pitched before. He's got a 0 ERA, but I've never heard of him, so I can't play this game. Because you don't know who Jacks is, and Richardson stinks. So you should bet Tampa, but I'm not. I'm just gonna write it down, but I'm not gonna play him. And Detroit is 104 to Cincinnati. Montero, who stinks with the 3.68, goes against Lauer with the 3.10. These have been high-scoring games, and I think this will also be a high-scoring game. We'll go Cincinnati over 9, 2 units. Again, the manager's got his head so far up his ass. He pinch hits guys. His big hitters, he pinch hits with guys that hit like 50 or 80. It's okay to let the lefty hit the lefty, okay? It is okay. Idiot. So we got that. And Detroit obviously doesn't steal signs on the road as easily as they do at home. And Cincinnati is a pretty good hitting ballpark where Detroit's kind of big. You don't get the same runs there. Here's our Yankees. We're going to bet them. We've got Houston. We got Arrighetti. We got the Yankees minus 123, 9.5 against Gill with the 4.20. Arrighetti with the 2.45. Little edge to Houston, but we're betting Yankees on their win streak minus 123, and we'll go 3 units instead of 4. I don't like the pitching matchup, but I got to bet the streak. And again, they've won 10 in a row now or something like that. Really doesn't matter. Once they get past 3 and they're hot, just keep betting them. And again, you can only lose one. I'm not betting Atlanta or Cubs unless it's a good pitching matchup. The White Sox and Washington. White Sox minus 117, 7.5 in Chicago. Hudson, never heard of, with a 0 ERA against Griffin with a 3.46. Because we don't know Hudson, we don't know what to expect here. The White Sox still can't hit, but they seem to score, so I'm going to leave this game alone. It's the Z teams. I don't like betting the Z teams. Pitt, Milwaukee. We've got Milwaukee 116, 7.5. Pitt won yesterday. Miazinski with the 4.50 for Pitt against Harrison with the 3.18 from Milwaukee. Interesting. So probably high scoring. You never know with Pitt. If they score, they don't. Lefty, righty, I don't know. I really don't know what to get. The 4.50 and the 3.18, probably an over, but you don't know. I prefer betting on Skenes. This is why I bet on Skenes and Ric Flair and Fried and whatchamacallit, Ranger Suarez. You know what you're going to get from them. I don't know what I'm going to get, and that's the problem. You're trying to bet on things that you really don't know what's going to happen, so you try to stay away from it. Seattle, St. Louis. I'm thinking this game's over. Seattle minus 124, 8.5 in St. Louis. We got Hancock 2.89 for Seattle against McCreevy 3.33. They're both hitting. St. Louis came in. I'm going to take this game over 8.5. And the reason is I noticed the bullpen. St. Louis was up like 6-0 on Ric Flair yesterday. He only went 3 innings. So they used a lot of bullpen. And then the game ended like 11-8 in 10 innings. So I think all their bullpen is shot. So I think today you're going to get weak bullpen. I think you're going to get runs. And I'm not really crazy about these starters. Decent ERAs, but that's it. Texas and Oakland at Texas. Texas 115-9. Jay Ginn for Oakland with a 3.21 against Rocker with a 3.60 for Texas. These are the bets that I would get in trouble with last year that I'm avoiding. I don't know what these pitchers are with a 3.2 and a 3.9. Are they over? Are they under? They could shut you out and they could give up 10 runs in 3 innings, and you don't know. So it brings too much risk into it. Total of 9. I don't know, because Oakland and Colorado are kind of playing better and a little bit lower scoring game like Colorado. Here's our lock today. All right, 5 units. Here it is. Arizona under 15. Are you fucking kidding me? We're going to go 5 units again on this one. They played 6-4, 10. They had the 16 total. This is AI, or who's responsible for how can you have a 15 in Major League Baseball? Now let's add insult to the injury. San Diego King, 2.33 ERA, and Nelson with the 7.20. So I get Nelson. It's probably a San Diego bet with King, but with the 2.3, he's probably going to shut him out. How are you going to get 15 runs in this game? So again, it was 6-4 yesterday, but this is an automatic 15. This would be like a 3. You'd go over. I mean, at 15, what are they doing? So that's our lock. Take San Diego under 15. What a joke. And that's just the common sense. That's a field bet going, okay, yeah, Colorado occasionally gets an 11. They're at home, or Oakland. but a 15 with San Diego and Arizona. Like, are you guys on drugs? Who's making these lines? Oh, AI. Yeah, this is an AI line. So you see how stupid it is. So yeah, I have no trust in AI. Miami at the Niners. The Niners minus 122, 7.5. Marino against Montana. We like Montana always. Meyer, 396 for Miami. And Roop, a 233 for the Niners. Did I get it? I had Frisco yesterday. They won, and I think I'll go Frisco again today. Minus 122. I'll go 2 units. Again, Miami's on the West Coast. All right. The California Angels at KC. KC's 109, 8.5. Detmers for California, 418 against Seth Lugo with the 116. We're going KC. We would go under, but Detmers with the 416. So I like KC here, minus 109, and that's 2 units. We're betting Seth Lugo. Very good pitcher. There you go. The Cubbies go to the Dodgers. The Cubbies win streak has been snapped. We're all sad. The Dodgers minus 116. And 9, we got Iamega for the Cubs with the 2.17 ERA against Robleski with a 0.9 ERA. Is this guy real? Well, he's got a 1.8 ERA. What the fuck are they talking about? 4.32 ERA last year and a 5.70 the year before. So he's pitched. He started 3 games that he's gone 5 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, 8 and 7. 3 runs, 1 run, none, and 1. He pitched pretty bad last time against Colorado, but they won 12-3, 7 innings, 8. So Robleski's pretty good. He's 1.88 now, but he's a 4 last year. Going against the Cubbies, Iamega with the 2.17. I'm going to go under in this game. LA under, not just because the 9 I think is too high. So again, we get off the Cubs. Now we look at the game. We got 2 pretty good pitchers, so we're going to go under 9. And the Dodgers have been playing a lot of low-scoring games. They lost to Colorado a couple times, like 3-1, 4-2. They got shut out by the 49ers last week, or maybe this week. It was a 3-0 game. Then they beat them 3-0. So they're not going to give you 20 runs a game. So let's go under there. And our last game, Colorado and the Mets. This is game 2 of the doubleheader. Senga with a 9 ERA goes against Quintana with the 6.23. The Mets minus 195. Total of 6. All right, I got to go the Mets over 6. Holy shit, 2 units. And this is game 2. Again, this is the opposite of the 15. How can you make this a 6? With 2 shit pitchers, a 9 and a 6 pitcher, and you've got a 6? Nah, we're going to go 3 units. That's ridiculous. Okay. So that's your baseball. So we'll start. We got Atlanta, Chris Sale, and it's starting soon. 2 units. The Yankees, 3 units on their win streak. Boston over 7.5. They scored 17 runs yesterday. Toronto over 8.5. Cincinnati over 9 against the Tigers. St. Louis over 8.5. Arizona under 15. That's our lock. 5-star under 15. Seriously, it might go over, but it's a incredible bet. The Niners minus 122. Kansas City minus 109. The Dodgers under 9, and the Mets over 6. I believe it's a double header. Yeah, Colorado and the Mets, first game. Yeah, so you're going to get the pitchers are going to be done. This is crazy 6. I love this AI handicapping. It's about as stupid as I have ever seen. We can make a lot of money with this AI. Silly me, I thought it was bullshit. But if they keep wanting to give me over unders of 15, yeah, we're gonna make a fortune doing this. All right. Everything's 2 units that I just gave you. 4, 7, 11 games. Everything's 2 units except for the Yankees are 3, and that over in the Arizona game are 5. And the Mets second game over 6 is 3. It's just it's crazy. And that's the problem with AI. They just look at the data and they come up with an average. Where they're getting 15 from and 16 for Arizona, I don't know. I mean, they might hit, but depends who they're getting pitched by, right? So you kind of watch what's happening. The Tigers in Cincinnati have been a high-scoring series. It was like 6-1 after 2 innings yesterday, and my bet was over 9.5. And I had 7 runs in 2 innings, so I knew that was a winner. They won 8-2, so they got 10. And they got a good hitting ballpark. So again, you're looking at the ballpark. Cincinnati, you get a lot of runs in. Detroit, you don't. Colorado, you used to, but not as much. And Oakland, you should, but they're not at Oakland. The Cardinals are hitting. Atlanta's playing well with Chris Sale. The Yankees are starting to move. Boston fired their manager. They put up 17 runs. You got to, okay, everybody's hitting now. Let's stay on that streak. So it's a lot of streaks. Teams will hit, and then they won't hit. I remember last year we bet against the Yankees. We didn't bet against them. There was like 5 or 6 games in a row. It was like for 2 weeks we were betting the Yankees under, and they didn't score 2 runs for 2 weeks. Then they finally started scoring. We got off of them, but I know we had it under at least 8, 9 games in a row, and they all won. Okay, we'll go under 9, and the spreads would be 8, 9, 10, and they can't do anything. All right, so that's baseball, that's basketball, the draft. If there's any team you're curious about, that's it. I think it was probably the worst draft I've ever seen as far as players. All right, let's look at this Trump thing. I don't know how good it is.
Where an extraordinary concentration of cabinet members, high-ranking lawmakers, and celebrities were present. What followed was panic as gunshots were heard and agents rushed to evacuate key leaders. President Trump, the First Lady, the Vice President, and others were swiftly moved to safety, while other officials were shielded and escorted out. The suspect was quickly overpowered and taken into custody. The Secret Service says that their protocol worked, and the suspect was apprehended at first contact.
Based on my training and my knowledge and experience with the U.S. Secret Service, and I have worked at that same very hotel, they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they did it quickly, saving the president any unfortunate incidents to him. Well, that's a tremendously big hotel. So what's good for the Secret Service in this scenario is there's no lack of agents, officers, and police. They probably had more than enough, and they certainly did because they stopped him. If you look at the video of him trying to go through with a rifle, there was not much time for them to react, only maybe 2 seconds. And his intention, based on what I'm seeing, was to run through that checkpoint get as close as he could to President Trump and take a shot and try to kill the president.
Well, the incident comes less than 2 years after a pair of assassination attempts against Trump during the presidential campaign. In July 2024, Trump narrowly escaped death when a would-be assassin's bullet skimmed his ear during a campaign stop. Just 64 days later, Trump was the target of a would-be assassin as he played a round of golf in Florida. And now comes a shooting in the Capitol. The motive and precise target of the suspected shooter remains unclear. Questions are mounting over how a gunman could get so close to the president. The suspect was a guest at the Washington Hilton, which was also the site of a 1981 assassination attempt against then-President Ronald Reagan. President Trump himself later said the Hilton was not a particularly secure building, adding that the incident showed the importance of the new White House ballroom that is under construction, but subject to litigation.
So let me understand this. We're supposed to believe that the Secret Service did a good job, but they let a guy in with a gun and let him get shots off. No, you didn't do a good job. The gun should never have gotten into the building. How does that happen? Well, he just ran through the checkpoint. Really? This is how good your security is? And you want me to believe the security is good? All right, you bunch of fucking, what a bunch of fucking idiots. No, you don't let the gun into the building, right? You can't let the gun in the first place. And then it goes in, he takes shots at the president, and you say you did a good job. We did exactly what we apprehended him after he took shots. And I'd be getting the Russian Secret Service to protect me. If I ever had a position like that, I'd be calling Putin saying, I need your guys. I need professionals. Because these guys aren't trained at all. You think somebody goes into Putin and shoots at him? No. Oh, the U.S. does drone him when he's at home. Only the problem is he wasn't at home and he owns like 5 homes. So they're droning his house that he's not even at. So really, really good. Does this make sense to you? Anybody? Does this again, they're trying to kill him. Like, believe me, I've watched enough of these that if they wanted to kill him, he'd be dead. If they wanted to kill him, they'd have it set up better and they'd be able to get him. So this doesn't make a whole lot of sense that this guy missed him again. He looked like a Middle Easterner, so maybe he's from Iran. I don't know. I can't say, but you can't breach security and say the security did a good job. All right. So that's our exciting news. Trump wanting, he probably made money on it somehow. This one's got me a little, American foods banned in 30 countries, 11 grocery store foods to never eat. It's mostly like bread and cereal. I don't think it's fruit and veggies. I don't want to waste 26 minutes. I'll go into it and to read the comments.
Europe, the UK, Japan, Canada, and
here's a quote. FDA should be held accountable. No, it shouldn't. The companies should be held accountable. What are they doing? It's a lot of chemicals in your food. It should be illegal to inject toxic biochemicals inside foods that Americans consume every day. It's amazing any of us are still living with trying to eat biochemical foods. Why are they putting biochemical foods in their foods? Why are we putting up with these corporations, of course? But let's get to chlorine washed chicken, ractopamine in pork and beef, growth hormones in milk. I don't hit milk. Potassium bromate in bread. I don't eat bread. Titanium dioxide in candy. BHA and BHT preservatives. I don't know what that is. Food dyes, red 40, yellow 5. Azodicarbonamide, the yoga mat chemical. So we're putting things in a mat into the food. Brominated vegetable oil and sodium, systematic hormones in U.S. beef, arsenic in rice products, glypho residues in cereals. Stay away from cereals, even Lucky Charms. Trans fats and hydroxylated oils. Let's see if they give us the foods. Chlorine washed chicken. What are you washing it with chlorine for? So what am I not supposed to eat chicken? And I can't eat beef and I can't eat, it's like, what are we going to eat? Oh, water. Well, I don't know how pure the water is. So in the U.S., poultry processors wash chicken carcasses in chloride dioxide to kill bacteria like. So when we cook it, does it get rid of the chloride? So do I stop eating chicken? I mean, I don't even know what to do. So it kills salmonella and E. coli. Sounds like a safety measure. The European Union doesn't think so. Number 2, chlorine washed chicken. Isn't that number 1? Brands affected include virtually all conventional U.S. poultry: Tyson, Perdue, Pilgrim's Pride, and every store brand chicken at Walmart, Kroger, and Costco, unless the label says air-chilled or no chlorine. Now we got to start reading that. So I get it at Bush's. Maybe theirs is good. Chicken goes through. All right. Let's see. Number 3, ractopamine in pork and beef. China's ban is so strict that it has rejected entire shipments of U.S. pork at the border. Rapamine residues can elevate heart rate and cause cardiovascular stress in both animals and humans. This drug and passed its safety standard by the narrowest vote. That's your FDA. But, well, yeah, you can poison the stuff. The problem for U.S. shoppers is that rapamine is not labeled. You won't find it listed anywhere on your pork. Okay, so I don't eat pork that much, so that's okay. Tyson and Hormel are bad for that. By USDA organic pork, which, see, now you wonder if this is an organic, how true this is. This is the problem with this. Milk injected with growth hormone. So be careful with your milk. I don't know. 4, growth hormones in milk. Well, I just read that. 5, potassium bromate in bread. See, but they're not in Europe and Asia. It's just here. What are these people doing? Let's kill all our customers. Products containing thiamine include Skittles, certain Hostess products, some chewing gums, powdered sugar donuts, and popular coffee creamers. Fortunately, I don't eat any of that, so maybe that's why I'm still around. Let's see, next. God, they go into all this bullshit. titanium dioxide in candy. Even certain butter brands. Always check the fine print. Hit that like button. No, I don't think so. Artificial food dyes, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6. This is a big one. It gets to the point, what the fuck do we eat? Okay, candy you shouldn't eat because of the sugar anyway. But they're not even making food. They're just, Lucky Charms. But stop short of a ban. American products packed with these dyes include Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, Skittles, Gatorade. Not Lucky Charms. I like Doritos. This is the yellow dye number 6. So Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, Skittles, Gatorade. If anything, probably yellow. Doritos, M&Ms, and dozens of kids' snacks. These dyes serve zero nutrient. They exist purely to make food look more colorful as they kill all the people eating it. It's just baffling. Can you give your kids apples and oranges? Are they okay? I don't think it's fruits and veggies, although you got to clean them because they put insecticide on them. And it's baked into your fast food bun. The yoga mat chemical, AOTR carbamide, the yogurt mat chemical. When Subway got caught using the same chemical found in yoga mats and shoe soles in its bread, I'm not going to be eating at Subway. Well, I never do because of this is why you avoid breads. This is the problem. You look at things in the 70s and everybody's thin, and now everybody's fat. They're eating all this bullshit. What are these producers making? This is insane. BHA and BHT preservatives banned in Australia and Singapore. Got Singapore 15 years in jail if they catch you doing that, and a $45,000 fine. The chemical and food processing when heated during baking. So this is Subway and McDonald's buns and Wendy's buns and various packaged breads and frozen products. Some supermarket bakery items contain it. I don't know what to tell you. Just get broccoli and cauliflower, and that's all you can eat. European bakeries produce millions of loaves daily without ADA, and their bread tastes better. The chemical exists because it's cheap and speeds up industrial production. So again, we're doing it for financial, to make more money, even though we kill all our customers. What a bunch of scumbags. And you want the FDA, who lets this shit happen. But it's not happening in Europe and Singapore and Australia. Jesus Christ. Speaking of drinks, your soda has its own banned chemical, brominated vegetable oil in sodas. For decades, American soda companies used brominated vegetable oil, BVO, to keep citrus flavoring evenly distributed in drinks. The problem, bromine is a toxic element that accumulates in body tissues over time. Maybe that's why I keep getting gout. Japan, the EU, and over 100 countries banned BVO years ago. Artificial food dyes, red, yellow 5, yellow 6, red 40. Well, we already talked about it. Involved the case of a man who drank several liters of BVO containing soda daily and developed bromine toxicity causing memory loss. Oh, so maybe that's why the memory loss. And skin liaisons. The FDA finally banned BVO in the U.S., giving companies until 2025 to reformulate. The fact that it took the FDA decades to act long after the rest of the world, all because it's a government agency and they're on the fix like every other government agency. We wonder why there's a government, because it really is very criminal, very toxic. The historically contained BVO include Mountain Dew, Sundrop, and various stores, brands, citrus sodas. BVO may be leaving sodas, but these next chemicals aren't going anywhere. Hormones in U.S. beef. Still allows 6 growth hormones in beef cattle so they can get bigger and they get more money out of killing them. Progesterone, testosterone, and zeronel. These hormones speed growth and increase muscle mass. So it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's a Hollywood Hogan on steroids, and all these wrestlers who took steroids to get bigger. Banned all hormone-treated beef imports in '89. Well, whatever. These hormones in beef could pose health risks, particularly for children, pregnant women, and those with hormone-sensitive conditions. Who the hell knows if that's it? Brands like Cargill, Tyson, JBS, and National Beef. That covers the vast majority of beef at Walmart and Kroger, Costco, and most supermarkets. Even the ground beef in your fast food burger almost certainly came from hormone-treated cattle. Oh, what are we supposed to do? I mean, just you can't eat anything. And then really, how much does it really, okay, there's portions of it in. A, how good is your body at fighting it? And B, how much of it are we really taking? We're just taking a little. But that could be why I get my gout more and more. It's because I'll eat meat, and maybe that's the problem. I don't really know. Azodicarbonamide, the yoga mat chemical, hormones, beef, organic American grass-fed. So that's why you want grass-fed beef. It's just because it avoids, not that it's better, it's just avoids the chemicals. Let's see, rice products. All right. So avoid rices and heavy metals containing concerning levels of arsenic and other heavy metals. Rice grown in the southern United States absorbed higher arsenic levels from the soil due to historic pesticide use on former cotton fields. Jesus Christ. Chapter 10, brominated vegetable oil and sodas. This was that BOV, so they're repeating themselves. 95% of oat-based products tested, including Cheerios, Quaker Oats, and Nature Valley granola bars. Again, if you have a bowl of Cheerios, are you really going to get real sick from it or not? Let's see. So pretty systematic hormones in U.S. beef. I mean, it's just, okay, it's depressing enough. So not really good, obviously. We watched Mark McGuire and his Comax and all these. See, that's the thing. In Five Guys, they probably have all these hormones in their hamburgers, and people get sick or whatever. All right, a couple of stoic things. How to spot hidden manipulators. So let's take a look at.
Have you ever trusted someone and slowly felt controlled without realizing it? That's not an accident. That's manipulation. Stoic philosophy warns us, not all enemies are loud. Some are silent manipulators. Let's uncover 5 Stoic secrets to spot hidden manipulators. 1. Beware the perfect charm. Manipulators often use flattery or fake friendliness. Stoics remind us, actions speak louder than words. If someone's kindness always comes with strings attached, it's a warning. 2. Notice subtle guilt traps. Manipulators twist your boundaries into guilt. Stoics teach, your peace is sacred. If saying no triggers guilt, it's a manipulation alarm. Listen to it, don't obey it. 3. Pay attention to secrecy. A manipulator often hides intentions, keeps information vague, or shares selectively to control your perception. Stoics teach, value transparency. Seek the full truth before trusting, or you risk losing control of your mind. 4. Spot inconsistencies. Their words and actions clash. If promises clash clash with behavior, red flags appear. Stoics value honesty. Misalignment signals subtle manipulation. 5. Recognize pressure tactics. Manipulators rush or corner you into decisions, creating stress or urgency. Stay calm, pause, and evaluate objectively. Stoic wisdom teaches that patience and reason protect you from impulsive control.
Well, this other one is silent habits of people who can't be controlled. This is another Stoic one.
The hardest person to control is the one who no longer needs anything from you. Not approval, not permission, not emotional scraps.
I hate these AI. Just get to the
Here are
fucking
6
point.
silent habits of people who can't be controlled. 1. They master the pause. Before they speak, before they defend, before they react. In that silence, they reclaim what most people surrender instantly. Sovereignty. When you stop answering every provocation, you stop being a puppet. 2. They say less than they know. They do not rush to explain themselves. Because once people learn what pulls your heart, they learn where to place their hands. Silence protects what noise exposes. 3. They don't explain their boundaries. They set them quietly, clearly, without negotiation. A person who cannot be controlled doesn't justify why they won't be mistreated. They simply don't participate. 4. They stop seeking understanding from those who refuse to give it. They let the misunderstanding stand. Many people betray themselves just to keep the room comfortable. But the uncontrollable person chooses truth over acceptance. 5. They train themselves in small discomforts. They wake up when they don't feel like it. They stay disciplined when nobody is watching. A mind that can deny its own impulses cannot be easily ruled by someone else's. 6. They build an inner life no one can touch. Their peace does not depend on attention. Their worth does not depend on applause. When you become at home within yourself, control from the outside begins to die. That is the quiet secret of freedom. The world can only dominate the person who has not yet learned to govern their own soul. Have you ever trusted someone and...
All right. Now, why do I bring up control? I was watching Hunting Hitler. This is an older show, maybe in the early 2000s or something. And they were on a quest to see, did Hitler really die in the bunker? And did he really escape to Argentina? And did he really end up in Chile? And the answers were yes. And so they got witnesses and they did everything. So basically, Hitler did not die in the bunker. There were sightings of him years later in Argentina and then in Chile. So how could the guy die and then be seen 5 years later in Argentina? So that's a comfort to make everybody feel like Hitler died and move on. And he didn't die. First of all, he was a millionaire. He had a lot of gold. Why would he die? Why would he kill himself? I mean, that made no sense. So he escaped out of the bunker, made his way to actually the Vatican. So he made his way to Germany, to Italy, which is connects. And then he went to the Vatican and they did a baptism. So all the Nazis who escaped got baptized, which kind of gave them a new life, a new name. So they had new names, and now you're not Nazis anymore. And that's what they did. Only they were still Nazis. They then went to Argentina and they set up death camps there, 800 of them. And they tortured the people there, and they were working on nuclear bombs. They had heavy water from Norway, which they took. How did Hitler get there? He took a seaplane, which there was submarines along the way full of gasoline, and the plane could stop at the submarine and they would refuel them. So he was able to go all the way from Italy to or Spain down to get new gas with the submarine and then get to Argentina. And there was this whole big safety thing, barracks, an army to defend, a nice house he lived in with tiles and everything and all. And I'm sure he had butlers and servants and everything. And then he moved to Chile when the president, Perón, I think, when he got, when they voted him out, he then had to go to Chile, and there was all these things all over Chile, Peru, Argentina, but the Nazis were running it. And they were very close to attacking New York. They wanted to blow up the Panama Canal, and they wanted to, I think they were going after the gold at the central bank in New York, the New York Central Bank, because I think they were targeting New York as the way, but that's where the Die Hard 3 people were at. So that's what they were after. Now, here's the scary part. They wanted to control all these people in concentration camps. And what do we hear now? Control. The U.S. wants to control us. They want digital currency, but they want to control us. And you keep asking, how can you control us? Why do you want to control us? Because the Nazis are still here running everything, and it's George Soros who's running it. They're using his money, and that's what the Nazis did, was try to control their people, put you in a concentration camp, scare the shit out of you, beat you, whip you. And when I heard that, and I hear all the control that's trying to be done to us now, my hair went up on the back of my neck. It was like, fuck, this is the same thing they want to do now. They want to control us. I mean, where's this coming from? But that's what they want to do. So it's very scary, but it links because George Soros is a Nazi, and all these Nazis got away, and then their kids are like Nazis, and the Nazi flags in Argentina and all those places. So I'm not sure we're rid of the Nazis. I think they're still in control. And I think George Soros is leading them. And that's why when we hear this control, of course, they want to bankrupt us, the U.S., because we stand in the way, or they're trying to take control of the U.S. Seems more like they're trying to take control of us, come out with this digital shit, and then there's no markings. And one guy worked at Mercedes. He was an engineer. He changed his name. All these terrible Nazis were Joseph Mendele and some of this guy named Roof, who was a big murderer in concentration camps and everything. They went to South America to do the concentration camps. So they have like 800 concentration camps there. I don't know if they're still active, but they're still there. They show on the show where they were. Now, I don't know what happened, but anyway, it's pretty scary. But when I heard the word control, and I hear it now, be very careful. Do not ever get rid of your gold or silver, because that's the way they can. How can they control us? Well, they can put us in concentration camps. Well, how can they do that? Well, if you don't have money, you're pretty much fucked. That's why you can't get rid of gun control. If you have gun control, you're fucked, because the government will have the guns and you won't be able to protect yourself. And you can never give that right up. The right to control the gun. It doesn't matter about, well, look at the kids shooting. Yeah, that's just bullshit. It's all about the gun control. And that's what you must understand. Once you give that up. So these school shootings are like planned, and it's always the shy kid who was bullied. It's a bunch of crap. Just like the guy who shot Trump in the air. Oh, he's a loner. He's a shy kid. No. They're planned. by the Nazis. And again, they want to get the gun control so then they can control you. But see, you can't give that up. It's a defense. It's the defense that you have. I mean, if somebody's coming after you, you have the gun and you can defend yourself. And that's what this is. This is money control, right? You're trying to control me by making my money worthless, coming out with digital money. This is control. This is protection. This will keep us alive and I don't know about healthy with all the shit they put in our food, but this will keep us safe. Is that you won't be able to control me with the money if I have gold and silver, because I can always sell this. Everybody will always take it. So I think that's why we know gold and silver will definitely go up in value. But you can see kind of why they don't want you to have it, because that's your freedom. That's anti-control. And they don't want you to have freedom. I don't know. This is the Nazi mentality. This is the Nazi playbook. I know there was Nazis in the Ukraine, which is what Putin was trying to get, was kill those guys. So anyway, it's called Hunting Hitler. It used to be a series, the CIA guy, and they'd go in teams, other Rangers and CIA type of people, and they were good investigators, and they went and they followed the path, and they saw that Hitler clearly, there was 2 escape routes, one through Norway, one through Italy, and the Vatican was involved because they didn't like communism. And it shows you all these wars against communism, shows you how bad communism is. Communism is not good. It's control. You're going to starve. Look what's happening with Daria now. Now, it's not communism in Russia, but it's control. They are banning the internet and Telegram and WhatsApp. I haven't talked to Daria in a week. She hasn't even been on in a week. I sent her an email. I don't think has internet access. It's crazy. She doesn't have that. I can't even talk to her. If I went there to try to find her or help her, I'm not sure I can, as a U.S. citizen, I can maybe get the visa. But when I get there, your U.S. passport, let's go to jail. I don't know how safe it is for me to even go there and how safe it is for her to even get out. So this is the problem in a controlled country. Now, Putin, I don't think, is like Stalin. Stalin was just a criminal, and he murdered, 10, 20 million Russians. He was so bad that when the Germans came, they were happy that the Germans came. They gave him flowers and everything. Oh, you're here to save us. And the Germans were like, no, we're here to kill you too. So it's a lot of bad people. There's a lot of corrupt government. I think is horrible. We need a different system than allowing them. What's with this draft? You're gonna tell my kids to get drafted and go in the army and die for what? I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. This whole idea of government is ridiculous. Do we need government? Well, we need laws. As I read you the 5 things, we need laws. We have a constitution. We have to follow it. Free trade, because we want to trade with people, because we don't have everything and they don't have everything. So I need something and they have it, and they need something and we have it. You got to have good money, gold, not backed by, not fiat money. You have to have money, gold or gold-backed currency or gold standard, because you need strong money. You need a small military, and you need a small government. How can you afford a big government? You can't. Well, we'll tax everybody. You won't have an economy. So we're kind of living off of what we have done from 1800 to 1914. It's the residual of that. And then having the gold from 1945 to 1972. And now we're shitting. It's all over. We've been done since 1972, since Nixon took it off, but you didn't notice it. Again, it's a big boat. It hit the iceberg. The water's coming in, but you don't notice it at first. So let's take that. The Titanic took 7 hours to sink. let's take it into the government with the dollar sinking. Only it doesn't take 7 hours, it takes 50 years. And we're at the end of the 50 years. But that's what happens is you don't really notice it. Now we're starting to notice, but we don't know what it is except for our class when you go to the grocery store and it's $18 steaks. If the steaks are even now, you don't even know what I can't even eat Lucky Charms. I'm going to go crazy. It's the coloring that they put on the charms. That's no good. They put a lot of salt in cereals for the taste and the flavor and to stay on the shelves. They put high fructose corn syrup. So things, on the shelves will last longer. So they don't have to throw it out. But I mean, you see these $20 steaks and you don't realize that's the inflation. Shit, they're printing money. It's worthless. But you see it as the meat's more expensive or the tuna's more expensive or the chips are $5 a bag and all this stuff. And you don't get that it's the dollar that's causing it, not the producers. In my title was prices are not always inflationary. Let me quickly touch on that, which I do touch on before. Just because the price goes up is not always inflationary. And I've said this a lot, and I keep repeating it because I want to hammer the point home because it's important. If the demand for a product like gold goes up and the supply stays, the price will go up. Is not inflation. It's a demand thing. If the supply of cocoa and or gas, oil goes down, all of a sudden the supply is down, the price goes up. Is not inflation. The only inflation is when the price goes up and the supply and demand haven't changed. So you go to the grocery store and there's Coca-Cola at I saw it at $3.63 yesterday at Bush's. It's still $2.99 at Meijer's, but it's still, where's the 99-cent 2-liter? And so not only are you not getting sugar, you're getting high fructose corn syrup in it. So it's going to kill you one way or the other, but the price is higher. But that is inflation because the material didn't go down and the demand didn't go down. So the price went up because of the dollar losing value. So what happens is as you print the dollar, the more of anything you have, the value drops. So the dollar isn't worth what it did. So it takes more dollars to buy goods. However, how do you get to the final price is what I keep arguing about. It's based on the market. We know the dollar's inflated, but that doesn't mean every price goes up. The prices, you see sales at the grocery store because you raised prices and nobody was interested. And so you had to lower your price. Oh, Coca-Cola, 2 for $5 instead of $3 for the bottle because nobody wants it. It's too expensive. So that's the big thing. That's what inflation is. It's not debasement. I don't know why these people keep calling inflation debasement. It's inflation. Inflation is simply inflating the money supply. Debasement's taking the gold and silver out of the gold and silver coins, that's what Rome did. But that's it. This is inflation, is the money printing. The government tries to tell you its prices. I don't know why, but they'll say, well, prices are up. Or inflation's only 2% because the prices have only increased 2% because nobody's going to pay for them. It's not the way to look at it. There's no such thing as disinflation. Deflation is bullshit. Deflation is not the prices going down. It would be stop printing the money, which is not happening. So that's never going to happen. The market controls everything. So if the house is $500,000 and nobody wants it, and you got to sell it for $200,000, is not deflation. It's the market. That's what the market is. The market controls prices more than inflation. So the only reason you have inflation is if you have price fixing, or as you keep printing more and more money, the prices will go up a little bit. But the market, we're not paying $20 for steak, especially steak. God knows what's in it. So we're not buying it. So they still have to lower the price, even though there's the inflation. It's too expensive. We got to put it on sale. And so that's what ends up happening. So I'm hoping when we cook our steaks and our hamburgers that kind of wipes out all the hormones in our meat that makes it bigger. So hopefully that does help that. Anyway, I think just thoroughly wash your food and thoroughly cook your meats should hopefully kill all this bullshit in the meats. I mean, we're not all dying. I'm still eating meats, and I try to eat pita bread versus regular bread, but I've gone to Ken's salad dressings because there's no high fructose corn syrup in it, although there is some vegetable oil in it. I cook with olive oil as much, every meal. When I go out, I'm very scared to eat the vegetable oil, but if it's, a little bit in my, when I go to Coney and I give me an egg or give me a hamburger, and it's probably cooked in vegetable oil, but it's not a lot. And that's why you must fast. You must do a fast I just did a 43-hour fast. Really, you do it without trying. Just skip eating one day. Eat your normal dinner, end it at 6:30. Don't eat the next day, and then eat lunchtime the next day, and that'll be 43 hours, and that'll be enough because you want to go 18 hours to clean your body of all this bullshit. So it's really a lot they don't tell you. Trump with the shooting, I don't know. The Nazis who are still around, George Soros, trying to kill the dollar, trying to steal our gold, which they probably already have, or China's got it. BRICS is going to rule because they'll have gold. It's as simple as that. You can't print gold. You can't inflate gold. That's why all these countries go out. They have the dollar and they print it to death from Rome all the way through here. You can see it, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, they just printed. And they just don't get it. They're not educated to understand, like, I'll print it, it'll be okay. No, you have to have gold-backed currency. And I think China gets it and Russia gets it. I like to think Russia gets it, but I know China gets it. They got 80,000 tons of it. They're already ruling the world because they got 80,000 tons of gold, and that's really the key to it. Anyway, anything else? Anyway, so that's what inflation is. You're printing the money and it loses value. That's it. That's all it is. It has got nothing to do. Inflation is not 2%. You don't measure it in percentages. All we know, there's now $200 trillion printed, more each month. At least $1 trillion a year is going for the interest on the debt. We have a $39 trillion debt. You can't pay it off. You can inflate the money so it's worthless, so you're paying back with worthless dollars if you get somebody stupid enough to take it. But if I were to get the dollars, I immediately buy gold and silver with it. So you get out of the dollar. And that's really the key to it. So that's what we're looking at. Be very careful. It's going to happen. If you're in stocks, get the hell out. I keep warning you, even if you make money, even if you make $1 million in silver stocks, you're still in dollars. And unless you sell it and unless you buy gold and silver with it, you're fucked. And hopefully it's going to be harder and harder. I might go by my gold store this week just to see, does he have anything? He always seems to have some silver. Like I got this from him. He always seems to have this. The gold, he seems to have a lot less of. Also, the fact he wants 97% of spot he'll give you for it, it works until you need it and you don't have it, which has got to be happening soon, where he's going to run out of gold and I'm going to sit there going, well, give me 102% for it, not 97. I'll settle for spot. Gold selling for 5,000. How about give me 5,000? But where are you getting 97%? That's ridiculous. But they can do it now because you need the money. But once you don't need it, like I said, 99% of my gold it's going to start at 20,000 for me to let go of it. And even then, I don't know if the dollar will go out. How do you price gold? You price it in gold, and that'll be the key. As far as pricing Bitcoin, you priced it in dollars. These bonds are priced in dollars. The stable coins priced in dollars. It all goes out. You can't control it. Like the government thinks, well, we'll just control it. You can't control it. Once you print it, it's worthless. There's nothing you can do because who are you going to sell it to? The BRICS countries don't want it. Most countries don't want it. So if nobody wants your dollar and then nobody can use it, they're not going to want it. It has no value, and you can't control that. Just like the Titanic, the water is coming in from the iceberg. You can't control it. You can't say, well, we won't let the ship sink. Well, you can't control it. The ship's sinking. It's the same thing here. There's nothing you can do to control it. It is what it is. All right. So again, NBA today, take Toronto plus the 4.5, Portland plus the 4.5, Houston minus the 4.5, all for 2 units. Philly, we'll see if Mbadwe plays. If he doesn't, I would just cut him and let him go work at the grocery store. This is a must-win game for them. Baseball, Atlanta, Boston over 7, Toronto over 8. Cincinnati over 9, St. Louis over 8.5, Frisco, Kansas City, the Dodgers under 9, and the Mets over 6, all 2 units. 5-unit play, Arizona under 15. I don't know where they're getting that from. And the Yankees for 3 units to win as they're on the, 8-9 game winning streak. The Arizona under 15 reminds me of poker. It doesn't make sense. The story you're telling makes no. How can it be 15? I mean, that's ridiculous. Most games are like 8-9 runs. How do you do 15? And the pitcher's a pretty good one for San Diego. He's got like a 2.5 ERA. You're not scoring a lot of runs on him. So how are you getting 15? Where's that coming from? Sounds like an AI mistake. But it doesn't make sense, so you bet it under. And that's what happens in poker. You watch the way the guy's betting, and then all of a sudden on the river, he makes a bet, and it doesn't make sense. 2 of diamonds really help you? There's no diamonds out there, so you're just bluffing. And keep in mind when you do play poker, the big bet, does it make sense? Wouldn't you want me to call? You make such a big bet that you want me to fold. And that's where the things are. It's not the analytics that you look at and the probabilities and what his hand is and what his range is, all this bullshit. That's not how you play poker. It's how they play poker now, but it's not the right way. Just like going for it on 4th and 2, it's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do, if you're around the 50 or 40-yard line, is to punt the ball deep and play defense. That's the right thing to do, not to keep going on 4th and 2 and not making it. That's the wrong thing to do. Even though it says to do it, it's not right. And that's what I argue about with AI and analytics. Just because they tell you it doesn't mean it's the correct strategy. And in this case, the correct strategy in poker is know the guy's range, which you can never really know. Because you're not seeing half the hands he plays. Okay, I bet everybody folded. You're not seeing my cards. You don't know my range. I'm not showing it to you. And then you got, does it make sense? Would you make that big of a bet? Don't you want me to call? That's how you got to look at it. Not, well, what's his range and what can I beat? And what's this? Is he bluffing or not? And with the big bet, he's probably bluffing. And otherwise, why am I in the hand? Right? If I'm in the hand, I better have something. Now I might be in the hand for a flush draw, and we'll see. But you got to be careful there. But you got to watch checks, and then here comes a big river bet. It's probably a bluff if it's too big. So you got to make it like it's just a call. It's a small bet. I want you to call. I got a full house, so I'm not going to bet 100,000. I'm going to bet 40,000 because I want you to call me, and that's it. But that's what I see. Most people lose control of the hand. They check. The guy makes a big bet, and they don't know what to do because they don't know what he has. He's just making a big bet. That's why you bet. You see how he reacts. Let him react to it. But whenever they pause a while, then they go all in, fold, because then they got the hand, unless it's the bluff. But normally, the bluff versus they got a pretty good hand, and they're okay. I'm all in. Yeah, that's the biggest tell there is. All right, so do that with everything. Watch the tells, watch the market, look at the prices, look at the competition. Now we got to be careful what we eat. And I'm a little bit, I'm a little confused because if this is it, we'd all be dead, and we're not. And you wonder if it's like a food company that's saying, "Oh, McDonald's sucks and Wendy's sucks." Well, who's putting it out? Is it by a competitor making them look bad? So you got to really get what's going on. Anyway, that's about it. Let's go watch some sports. It looks sunny out. I will try to do my walk. The pool will open tomorrow, thank God. I'm going to go and stir crazy because, you get out, you go to the pool, you swim, you can talk and take a hot tub and relax. And you're out about 2 hours. And now it's like there isn't that. So I either try to walk or I run to the store just to get something to eat to get out. So it is tough when you're do that and you're not working. Anyway, any questions on the draft? I don't know about I can do a draft video, but it's probably the worst draft I've ever seen. Way too many linemen. Everybody wants offensive and defensive line. Now, you might need it like the Lions. They need linemen, maybe, but the linemen they have are terrible. So now all of a sudden the guy knows how to draft? No. And you really, it's really hard because, you draft these guys. That's why it matters to school. I want to draft a guy out of a good defensive school versus a bad defensive school. Like what's with Clemson? They weren't good this year. All these Clemson guys going. So I don't buy that. Anyway, have a good day. www.tjking.com. I'll probably clean the fridge out maybe tomorrow. Everything's mopped except for the kitchen, which I'm waiting to clean. I'll probably do that soon. And that's it. Just the spices and some plates out and a little bit of shampoo and mouthwash and toothpaste, which I got to leave out. And then and that's it. I'll wait for the movers. Confirm them around noon, 1 o'clock on Friday. So I won't be on Friday. I'll be on Thursday. I won't be on Friday, and then Saturday I'll be on. So anyway, and then you'll see my new place. So I move a lot. It just makes sense. I save $350. It's used to be 10 ounces of silver. Now it's like 4 ounces of silver. So again, it makes no sense, and I'm fine with it. I don't care. I'm getting ready to buy the house when the gold explodes, and then hopefully that'll be it. I'll pay cash for it, and then I won't be moving. The question is where. I used to want to move to Vegas, but they've killed Vegas. Maybe Florida, but I hear it's hard to get insurance. And so I don't really know. I don't know where to move. Europe, I don't know. It's going to get nuked by Russia. Well, we'll see. I mean, Jenna's in Germany. Daria, you got to get her out of Russia, but I don't. This is crazy. We can't talk. Fortunately, the foundation of the love is strong. So I don't think she's found somebody else and she's just not going to talk to me, and that's just not going to happen. There's no way. That's impossible. And anyway, and that's about it. So have a great day. www.tjking.com. You want to email me? My email is there. Good luck on the sports. And again, the worst NFL draft I've ever seen. It's just horrible. I tried watching it for 10 minutes and there's Mel Kiper and I go, no, I don't think I can watch that idiot. So anyway, have a good day and enjoy. All right. Thank you.